drowning in sorrow. Off that line, sprint, nothing is borrow.
Hello everyone, welcome back to EPIC45. Valorant tournament continues in this bracket stage. We're in the upper bracket semi-finals now to decide our first candidate for the top 3 in this tournament. I'm Shiva, joined by Nebula for Aconite versus The Last Resort. I think these two teams are really, really scary and really strong. I think they're the biggest candidates for top 3 alongside G Willy, right? That's the thing that I'm really looking forward to here.
Yeah, This is not only an opportunity for The Last Resort to bounce back from that series we saw earlier against Willy G, or the new variation of that, but also an opportunity for Aconite to continue their flawless run so far here at EPIC, getting first seed in their group stage. Although a very close map in there, still a lot of confidence that will be built up for them going into this series.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, these guys have both had really solid results, but obviously you have a little bit of a further, stronger, consistent result with Aconite. You still haven't seen that matchup between Aconite and Jilly, which is the thing that really puts into question how they will compare. You know, with that best of 1 between The Last Resort and Jilly, I mean, it was clear as day which team was superior in that one. Jilly were just absolutely destructive, and Aconite have not had that super scary opponent just yet. This is going to be the first scary team to face. It's whether or not that comparison with The Last Resort compared to their matchup against Jilly is going to be the thing that will give them a lot more confidence going into this. I know we've had a lot of information about both of these teams. We know a lot about these teams. I think, generally speaking, if we were to have honest predictions, we do slightly favor Aconite in this matchup. But still safe to say, a lot of scary potential with this Last Resort roster. We've seen some really scary things from this team.
100%. And winning this match is such a big opportunity in terms of your progression in this bracket, as you mentioned or alluded to at the start, jumping from that guaranteed top 6 into top 3 positioning and being in that winners finals is such a good position in a double elimination bracket like this. And yeah, going on to sort of the things we've seen from Aconite, since we haven't seen them on broadcast yet. Recently, a lot of eyes were on them when they were in the Northeast relegations through the North qualifier. 1 series away from making it into challengers themselves against an opponent that's now made it into Upper Swiss. So definitely sort of a lot more respect, I think, put on their name.
Yeah, far more results to really back up the bark that they have.
From that moment, also then their run in VUKC ended in top 8. They ended up qualifying to that North relegation through Premier Invite instead. So, yeah, a roster that's been longer standing than the side of Last Resort, and we're going to see if that really ends up being a big factor playing into this series here.
Yeah, agreed. And with the visas coming in as well, very surprising not to see Lotus at all in this series. That's a really rare thing, and I'm so happy we get to see some different maps be playing through. This first time we're going to be seeing a Ascent Icebox for me casting in this event so far. Haven being that decider is just too iconic. Very lovable map, very, very fun to play, so no doubt we're going to be seeing some action if that goes the distance. But these first 2 maps, Ascent and Icebox, what do you think of this one here? Last Resort picking into Ascent. From what I remember, they're a big fan of running Deadlock. Do you think there's going to be a situation where that's going to happen again?
I think so. In recent sort of months, there's been a lot more openness to different compositions being run on Ascent. Obviously, that default composition, including the KO, Sova, Omen, etc., that was sort of, you saw that ran by so many teams, a vast majority. Anything else was an exception. But now you see Yoru's incorporated, you see Deadlock's incorporated, like we're going to see from Last Resort, and seemingly from Aconite also, looking to incorporate that Yoru into their composition, giving them a lot of rotational options. This could be interesting.
That is something I'm particularly interested in. The Yoru coming in from Aconite, from Misu on this Ascent, and it's locked in. We're going to be seeing it. And alongside Bubs, double Sentinel from both sides here. Cypher Deadlock for Aconite, Killjoy Deadlock for The Last Resort. And aside from that, the comps are a little different here. You have to also pay very heavy attention to the Jet Yoru duality. That's a very different pair, very different single duelists that have very different incorporations of their playstyle, right? Different types of Sentinel as well with the Killjoy and the Cypher. I'm really curious on how that difference is going to be implemented here, because Deadlock has been one of those agents that you know is really common with that double Sentinel, but Killjoy and Cypher are very distinct in terms of how they're going to be playing, right? Cypher's trips are going to be very punishing, but guaranteed info all the time. Killjoy, although does have very strong info, ranged info, has a bit more restrictions. That's where we could maybe see a really heavy setup onto the B site with a completely different agent, not even Deadlock or Cypher being playing around down on that. That can happen with this composition, and that is the sheer defensive versatility that Aconite can have with the Cypher comp. That's different compared to that Killjoy, where it's a lot more, general speaking, retake intensive and offensive utility through its turret to watch flank and through its mollies for lineups for post plant. On top of that, the lockdown is the big thing to really look out for that. What else do you think makes the Killjoy distinct with that Cypher matchup?
I was thinking on the Cypher side, a lot of teams opt for Cypher in double Sentinel comps for that guaranteed information, especially with something like a Deadlock. You're able to sort of take space or claim areas back with a Deadlock, shut off areas with the barrier. With the grab net especially, you're able to sort of initiate taking space at catalytic utility, as opposed to just information holding, which is vastly what the Killjoy will be able to do, except with those Molotovs. So it's going to be interesting to see the Killjoy utilized into the Deadlock combo. I'd imagine it would be more comfortability on the side of Jake, just opting for that Sentinel choice, but there could be theory options behind it as well.
Yeah. Getting into it now, into this upper bracket semi-finals match. Like we said again, these two teams are honestly the teams that we would expect to be gunning for that second place in the top two, right? We see G Willy as the big team, right? And that's the thing that we have to see, which these guys want it badly. Who wants it the worst? Who wants it more?
Or B main trap already.
Already some early contact made. Misu with first blood onto Tiny, and that grab net is going to slow down the push, but Kara on that split through mid is going to grab Bubs, and that's going to eliminate a little bit of extra utility that's usable, but Kara not privy of hated. But that doesn't mean Jack here. The last resort. Chicken Feet and Jake together in unison. Grab 3. And it's suddenly turned from a 3-on-3 tight close battle to a 3-on-1 with Jack a little too late to the party.
That use of mid was crucial for the last resort. Not only the initial picks being able to grant a way for them to allow those B main players to progress out of main to make their way into that site, but also that re-aggression from Chicken Feet through middle to secure those last rotations coming through. And we'll find 3 in the round to close it out. That's a very nice pistol for Last Resort to open this map.
Yeah, no doubt. You saw initially a little bit of a jump scare with how sudden the contact was made and how quick blood was spilled there against the Last Resort, but they weren't really too privy of that mid control. They kind of let it go out for free. The moment they saw that B push, they saw 3 members there. You would guess that's it, they're in. But no, not that time. Kara was really quick to bring his team back to life in that pistol round. Essential on the attack side of Ascent. We haven't mentioned it yet, but Ascent comedically defender-sided, especially with that high level, right? If you're able to get a good head start on that attack, especially with the comp that you're running, it's really, really beneficial for you. You've got Cypher Deadlock on the defense. That's really, really hard to go against. I definitely favor that over the Killjoy Deadlock. And so it brings into a fear factor for Aconite. Need an early lead to start.
We've got an interesting approach to this eco round here for Aconite. They're trying to take control of both mains, and the insert from Miso on A main has gone so deep. That could find contact on its own whilst the B main fight is going on. Miso on the other side is about to have 2 challenge him, and Kara will just check the corner and immediately take his head off. Now dashing into that ace.
Fights though. Drake's alone. He's dodged the paranoia, but Kara through the smoke will catch him before he can do any more damage. And so the retake is going to be ensuing here for the Last Resort. Kara taking so much space here before his team can make it. It's a long rotation through for the rest of his team, but Kara, no fear. Tailwind soon to be popped. Out comes the flash to force him back away. Bubs will get one on Chicken Feet off screen, and so a little bit more of a threat privy there, but that Deadlock wall is going to slow down the push immensely, and there's simply nothing Aconite can really do in this situation here. They're just going to be forced to break the wall, and that's going to be bait full for the spam that Jake can use, and so this site is deadlocked down for the Last Resort. I
mean, so many trade options for Last Resort there. Aconite are very unlikely to get anything done here, but just going to opt to go down to the spike. Maybe Misu is going to look to swing for one, try and land a nice headshot, but is not going to be given the opportunity. Last Resort are just going to back away and secure their anti-eco conversion. And in that pistol round, Aconite had proactivity that didn't exactly work out, but they kept it up in this eco round, and I think that's going to be the best approach for them going into this game, right? They're playing towards the strength of their composition. If they find that information, the Yoru's going to be able to respond very quickly, help out the weaker side, and sort of make Last Resort's information outdated very quickly.
Yeah, and I think this is why Aconite are favored on this defender side on paper, right? That Yoru is so strong for rotation, so quick to respond. Deadlock is really good for locking down very quick, sudden attacks, fights, right? You know, you can throw a wall up through A main, you can throw a wall B main and just completely block them off. You can use the nade to make a huge fear factor to surprise you with any other kind of user to join in on that. And it can become a huge mix of very scary concoctions. But Kara, quick to grab Bubs, but courtesy of that net that he threw down before he died, the rest of Aconite are going to be able to respond in kind here. Last Resort, suddenly now, back down to 1 member. Now 3 against 4 in favor of Aconite.
Joak is trying to get active, but Tiny will just shut down that play completely.
What a shot.
Now, no one from Aconite to defend this B site. It's just Hayden in market, trying to hide from that drone, and now potentially going to get that information and also confirm the kill onto Jake, denying that cross onto the B site. And now Aconite have a numbers advantage and good positions, but the spike will go down, and the lurk through mid could find a big impact.
It's a fake tap though. Adam through mid will catch Hayden. Tiny with another. It's a back and forth, but it's a one-on-one now. Miso Adam. And I'm particularly low and can't find Miso at the right time. He's taken down. Miso with a 3rd kill. Aconite will finally draw first blood in the rounds. And this is going to be the momentum shifter for them. They don't want any more rounds to be won. They need this lead to be convincing in the first half.
There had to be a huge recovery for Aconite in that round. It's very important they got that bonus converted, but that's not the fashion in which you'd like to do it. You'd like to have guns carry over to have a chance at evening out the score at 2-2, but there's still an opportunity, just not the odds in your favor to do so.
Yeah, no doubt. Clock ticking down soon. It seems to be a bit of a defaulty split here. But Adam, the Omen, Last Resort, each other up. Tiny with the threat to guard Kara through that bottom mid to give him a lot of space. Peer through with this Outlaw. Aware most of Aconite are not going to really be on a favorable buy, including shields. Space is made, but that drone is soon going to be catching him out, and he's going to be in a bit of trouble. Vulnerable in a position where he's going to be forced to give away back that space. And that might give a lot of room for Aconite to come back in and claim it even harder, maybe even punish some of aggression. You notice Miso there with the Yoru. Very much could throw out a TP to get himself into safe positions and run out, grab himself 1 and then lead. That dart almost getting 1, but the peak of the bait from the dart is going to work out in favor of Aconite. Miso onto Kara will draw the first blood after almost a minute of the map running. This round gone on so long. Finally some damage done, but Miso did not go unscathed. 10 HP to his name left. Going to be backing away alongside his teammate to do a high-low setup to stop any more of that cap push in, and that's going to prompt Last Resort to go into a long rotation.
Last Resort feel they have no map control. They're just going to have to change their final destination to this B site. And luckily for them, there's no one home, but that could be very different in a matter of seconds.
Cams out. Quite a lot to be worried about here to go into the site. Cypher is not fully made in check here. Miso is checked though. That scan on the drone will get him, but that deadlock wall is going to make things a bit difficult here for Miso. He's not really going to be able to safely commit to a peek or even a swing at all. But the rest of his team are going to be soon there with him. It's a 4-on-5 retake in favor of Aconite, but still numbers will gain for the Last Resort. In the blink of an eye, 3 have been taken down. Tiny 9K and Jake, through his utility of the swarms, will get more. And the Last Resort piling up the bodies. It's just Miso left alone in a 1 versus 4. 2 members relatively low. Gun in hand could be lethal, but you just need to find more opportunity, and it's not happening. Gravnet slowing down Paranoia to force him back away, and that is going to be the confirmed back away. Maybe looking to maybe get an exit or 2. Miso! Nice rapid 1-2 switch there, but that's all it's going to be, as the rest of the Last Resort are leaving bloodied and bruised. That is a lot of damage done, courtesy of the Yoru.
You'd think such a fast flood would catch teams off guard, but not Last Resort. They were so aware and so ready for that. Jake finding 2, the second with the Molotov as well. That was just the best piece of utility that Last Resort probably had to deny such a fast attempt like that, and a great response from them.
Coming out here from Aconite.
Yeah, and we saw quite a few changes from Aconite from those first 2 pistol rounds to the most 2 recent. They already swapped the players they had playing on each side. I think that was a great response in mid to them re-clearing and finding those initial picks that forced Last Resort to end up onto B. But yeah, just the calls over towards the latter end of the round not working out. But those early processes, there were signs of success for them there.
Yeah. Timeout being thrown out here from Bubs. One thing that is important to note that may have not been addressed yet, Aconite do have a coach on their hands that is talking alongside them. You know, King Hass is there to give them advice, a very tenured Epic LAN player and very well known to be one of the main spearheads in the strategy books for teams as successful as ExoClan and other very strong UK-based teams in Valorant. And a genius mind like that is going to have Aconite with a lot of help alongside them for that strat book, to maybe help them recover this deficit early on. 3-1 on that defensive side is not what you want if you're Aconite right now. You have a comp that's very rotation heavy, that relies on you to build this heavy snowball on the defender side. But with the timeout being thrown in, it's a very slow default. They are waiting for some over-aggression. And that 3-man stack moving up through B main, zero response from the last resort.
Yeah, and you'd think you'd get some great information off the back of a play like that, but last resort just playing extremely patient there. Aconite are not the only ones to have changed things up coming out of this timeout. It seems like Aconite are putting much less focus over towards the middle of the map, just opting for the mains now instead, although they could pivot their approach throughout the round. Last resort, though, investing multiple pieces of utility, trying to convince Aconite of heavy presence towards this side, which is the case for the attack. Aconite not going to change really any positions. No rotates coming through just yet, as Carrot is going to look to see if they can find a gunfight, trying to make use of that dash, but won't find anything just yet.
Kara's itching for contact here, praying that something can be found with this Blade Storm, and he walks into, unfortunately, an unfortunate crossfire. It's not going to help him out. The Blade Storm all got roots now. The spike is on the A site, but still fights are being done on this B side here. It's in the favor of the last resort. Only by a small margin, though. Plant is down. Site control is confirmed with 30 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be locked in. 3-on-3 retake. A little bit of time for Aconite. They have the Dimensional Drift Fear from Misu that can be used to add a lot of information. This is going to be very helpful with those two members of Last Resort being so low on health, but Jake catches out Johak. This is getting more and more dire. How is this going to work out? Aconite with not really much left to speak of. The Sound Center is going to reveal Misu's position, and Adam will deal the killing blow onto Hayden. It's another clean round from the Last Resort, a clean default. And a great fake on the rotation. Yeah,
definitely a great round played by Last Resort, but not a bad eco if you're the side of Aconite, right? And just touching on that timeout and that coach conversation, King hasn't been someone who's been long-standing with the roster, just helping them out at this event, and that's going to help a lot with not necessarily the preparation, but the adaptation, which is seemingly what you need in a situation like this. And this is the round where we should start seeing that impact following the timeout, since that previous one was an eco.
Yeah, here's hoping, right? Eco giving you a little bit of extra time to talk amongst your teammates whilst playing this round out, knowing it's not going to really work. And Kara, with an overzealous push, will get punished swiftly. But Hunter's Fury and responsive on the Last Resort. Although a little bit of damage done, it's not going to deal any damage here. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Out comes the Dimensional Drift here from Misu, looking to hunt more down. Hunter's Fury to join in on the response too, but no, Cigar from the Hunter's Fury. It's a lot more damage with the gunplay. Annihilation thrown out from the Last Resort, but it's not going to catch anybody. It's a 3-on-2 in favor of Last Resort once again. Plant faked here, prompting to try and taunt them into the push. Hayden is hit with the shock dart and can't land anymore. Tiny with another, a third from Tiny. The Last Resort, they're still pushing. This attack half has been excellent from them.
Last Resort are running the show right now. It feels like whatever pace they play with, they're able to turn the odds into their favor and come out on top. It feels like anything is a good situation for them. Even if they're starved of information, they find a way back in.
Yeah, it's a great play from them. Although a few ultimates not necessarily found to the best of value, it's the individual gunplay that got them that success. And it just works in spades. It's so perfect there from TLR. And you still have a lot of ultimates on the card. That lockdown in your possession, from the shadows that could be used for a late mid-round lurk to ensue that paranoia to your opponents.
Oh, early A aggression from Aconite.
Kara's dash is coming in as well. Unfortunately, the read failed, but the aggress failed even harsher. 3 from Aconite. And the Last Resort are down to just 2 members left. Kara is trying to bounce it, though. He manages to survive the onslaught. And he's given the space for the rest of his teammate to help out. But the flank is in. Aconite are still in this. And they can grab a rifle if they have the chance. But Kara with this off angle, it's just perfect. Miso's out, and it's now up to Bubs. Really, in an ideal world, wants to just grab a Vandal, silently and stealthily. Grab us 1 or 2.
Has some tools to approach this 1v2, both the barrier mesh and the grav net.
1 kill and he gets the annihilation.
Uses those in the right location, it could be big, but you may just want to keep your gun out in a time like this. Decides to throw the grav net. It will catch one. Will Kara choose to swing out though? Oh. No, Chicken Feet will go first and will claim it on the first try in a 5-round lead in the favor of Last Resort.
Very confident, very certain of themselves here, the Last Resort. Looking like they went out in a whimper to Jilly earlier this tournament in the best of 1. They feel a lot more reinvigorated now, still continuing their dominant run even then. And Aconite seem to them at the moment to be no exception.
Maybe a bit more patience is needed on the side of Aconite, since I don't think the first bloods would be too in favor of Last Resort, if we're honest. It would be the late round things going their way. Maybe a bit more focus on middle is what you'd need, since even those main fights aren't really turning into round conversions. The lockdown is going to be invested for Last Resort. Aconite will rotate over to B as there's no presence shown on A, and Kara will just be straight into the site, and Joak will take them down. Hayden now spamming with this Odin to try and prevent Last Resort having access.
Yeah, an attempt, some spam being made, a tiny bit of damage being done onto Tiny, but it's not going to be enough to deal any damage in terms of the numbers here. But it doesn't mean much. The flood is in from Aconite. They grab 2. Chicken Feet with a response. Adam with an even bigger one. Miso is down, and now it's just up to Chicken Feet alongside his teammate of the Deadlock. Adam, 1 by 1, will bring down numbers, but it's now Chicken Feet alone against 2 members. Ooh. Miso, a little bit too clairvoyant of that one. He saw it in the stars, and he just shot, and that is where it lands. Aconite will bring themselves to 2 rounds. Slow and steady wins the race here for Aconite.
Yeah, and as we're getting sort of closer to the final stretch of the half, it's going to be very crucial as to whether that's a reoccurring formula that Aconite can go with, or whether it's just a blip on the radar to a dominant half for Last Resort. We still see Aconite sort of switching up their defensive setups. They're sort of aiming more towards their positioning closer to their pistol round with the Sova and Cypher towards A. You see that very consistently with the Sova and the main Sentinel. As the Deadlock setup and Omen just jiggling over towards A main. Miso now is going to get proactive in middle, something we haven't seen in a few rounds. And it looks like he's going to get some assistance. This could be similar to their eco round that we saw at the start of this half.
An attempt of mid-control to be confirmed, but still no members to be seen. It seems that the priority is going to be the A side here for Last Resort. Miso effectively alone, locked in to go into a 1v1 with his Deadlock teammate behind him! But Adam, back-to-back with 2 in the blink of an eye! That's just disastrous for Aconite! You attempted to be proactive and it almost worked, but you just couldn't land it when it matters. The movement is perfect here from the Last Resort. Adam's just been a thorn in their side. And Tiny 9K is going to make this even harder. Another one. And it's just Hayden alone with the Odin. And he's going to be walking into the crosshairs of Jake almost like a silver platter served before his very eyes. 7 rounds for Last Resort. Disastrous start for Aconite so far. This has been really difficult for them. And TLR are proving why they picked this map. Even if, in theory, you know, this composition, we saw it as a really strong defender-eccentric map. It's just not worked out.
We mentioned that individual brilliance before. Adam showcasing that in spades. That was a ridiculous way to shut down that sort of re-aggression into A main.
Yeah, I mean, how do you respond to this right now if you're Aconite? Low on the money, desperate for something. Desperate for some sort of miracle to come served in front of you. You're going to have to earn it. Last Resort are not giving it away one bit. Kara is vigilant, waiting for the smoke to go down before he makes contact, and that swing is beautiful from Kara and Adam, working together to time it just right. Make no pressure a thing here. Kara may take a little bit of damage, but he's still going to be able to confirm himself a lot of space for his team. And now with the spike planted, it's a 5-on-3 with Aconite, Aconite having barely anything to really make the most of. It's going to be one of those things where they're just going to have to concede. maybe try and get 1 or 2 exit frags, maybe a cheeky one, but a confirmed retake I don't think is going to happen unless they really want to commit to this. But this deadlock was so oppressive. What do you do? Misu peeks out, gets one, and instantly is snuffed out from Tiny 9K. And the same goes for Hayden. 1 by 1 they fall. Jorak with a hopeful shot onto Chicken Feet. But I don't think Last Resort are going to allow any more blood to be spilled on their side. 8-2. It's going to snowball higher and higher. 9-3 is on the cards here.
A very nice shot from Joak, but in the big picture, just a slow demise for Aconite in that round. And prior to the round we just saw, it's not always been the win condition, but it feels like Last Resort always have perfect lurks coming through to secure rounds. Yeah. Even if you're able to stop that initial layer that's been such a problem for Aconite in this first half, are you able to deal with that flank coming through, with that lurk coming through? And it feels surprising that they're able to have so much room against Double Sentinel.
Yeah, it's really weird to see. You know, it's usually a composition that's deemed unstoppable, but it feels like the attempts of being proactive has backfired a lot here for Aconite. And they're trying to be a bit more reserved. You can see it. It's a very defaulted-like setup. You only have Misu alone here peeking out of this top mid area, clearing out as much as he can. But there's no attempt of aggression this round here from Aconite.
Tiny's remembered the spike.
Thankfully.
That's a good start. Which also may give us a clue as to where they would wish to end. Spike towards that B site. That'd be a lot of utility they have to get through there. They're going to see this deadlock wall is down here, although it will be going soon. There it goes. And now Bubs is going to turn his attention over towards this B main. That's basically the whole deadlock kit gone already. Only the ultimate available. Well,
the Sonic Sensors there as well as a chance. But I mean, the Euro TP onto back site or CT could be orchestrated here from Aconite, depending on how they want to execute this here. Out comes the shocks, but that flush smoke is just perfect. Bubs, what a shot on Sagara! Updrafted over the roof, 1 tap to the dome. The acrobatics meaning nothing here for the Sentinel of Aconite, but you need more. You need some more damage done. And Hayden will respond to take down Tiny 9K and trade his teammate. But Miso being gone is a big issue. No paranoia to be used for the retake. Storm Grenades to stall out the flush here from Last Resort. The Annihilation is still in the hands here. And so Aconite finding the right moment, looking to find a guaranteed member stood in a vulnerable position. Out it comes, and it doesn't catch anyone! Disastrous here, and the response is beautiful from the Last Resort. Misu with an attempt on the opposite side of lane, but it's not going to mean a thing. 9-2 for Last Resort. They might even make it 10. Aconite are in desperate straits here. I mean, if we take a minute to look at the scoreboard and just look at the kill KD of the economy, you're going to be able to notice how dire of a situation this is going to be. They have gone full broke for this next buy. I mean, the KD as well. Adam, Chicken Feet, and Tiny, all 3 of them, 11 kills and just skyrocket in the leaderboards. This is so one-sided right now.
Aconite, we saw a different approach again. As opposed to their previous B retake, they took it slow, they took their time. But those trips, those deadlock trips were already there. They didn't even have to be made use of. Let alone to mention the superstar game Adam is having. We've seen the impact throughout these rounds. 11-3. This is in a winner's semi-final.
Yeah. You know, stakes are high with this one. You know, if you lose this, you're going to be going in a much more difficult road, a much longer journey, much more tiring journey. Here, you guarantee yourself top 3 and a spot at the upper final. A chance to get yourself top 2 guaranteed. That's a big deal here for these teams, especially considering that these are 2 of the favorite teams we would consider. Maybe alongside the office chair moment, another team that we could see as high potential. You know, these 2 teams are 2 of the 4 we'd see as candidates for grand finalists.
Yeah, office chair moment had a very close battle against Aconite in their best of 1, but I mean, if Last Resort are able to put up numbers like this, could show a very different side to one we saw against Jilly in their group stage earlier.
Yeah, no doubt.
Last Resort are just going to be crawling over towards this A side. They haven't revealed much yet until the paranoia and dash come through.
Yeah, push through tree and attempt to gauge that early space here, but the trips is there. Kera is going to be caught out. Miso, back to back, stuck on switch, but still will run around and get 3 like it's free in the open. Too easy for him, too vulnerable, no care in the world. He's going to wipe the floor with the Last Resort in this final round of the half. Neural Theft revealed, Hunter's Fury revealed, 29k will evade it with the fleet footwork, but that's all that's going to happen. He's down, and it's going to be a 9-3 half in favor of the last resort. Aconite will end on a high, but you need a lot more than that in this next attack.
Yeah, Miso delivers a lifeline for Aconite at the end of that half.
He's a sitting duck.
Yeah, I mean, but a beautiful 3k still coming out nonetheless. I think it's a bit uncharacteristic for Aconite to not really have someone having a big game. They're sort of one of those rosters where any one of the 5 players could step up to the plate and showcase a performance like that. Maybe that's the spark lit for Miso to start having one of those games, or to just to raise the energy up back in their camp.
Yeah.
Last resort, though, they don't really need an energy increase. They've already got 9 rounds off the board. It's just whether they can continue that sort of manipulation of the map on their defensive side.
Yeah, this pistol round will really matter here for both of these teams. Neither of them want to give away
4
anything.
in mid.
I mean, it's a bold, it's different from Last Resort, but the call for mid control has just been non-existent, and thankfully, the Cypher of Aconite will survive. By the skin of his teeth, but still surviving. That's a number to be worried about here. The space from B is confirmed and fully taken advantage of, courtesy of Miso. Picks out Kara, the Jet, the entry. The spearhead of the retake push here for the Last Resort is out of the picture.
Ooh.
Joak, though, he's really patient. This timing is excellent, but he's going to have to speed this up. The split...
The darts to fake.
The split pincer flood is essential here. You have to do something, but it's not happening. Aconite one by one are falling, and they need to fight. Hayden with a response with 3. Hayden, a stalwart, Stahljaeger fighter on the site, now has to fight Joak alone. It's a 1 HP member, and Timmy will be his sidekick to deal the killing blow. It's a clutch Last Resort win. Such a valiant attempt from Hayden, but it's not going to mean a thing.
Hayden's so close to converting that, and when you saw the HP on Joak, you knew that turret was just able to shut him down, but he wasn't ready for it. He just was not ready for it.
It's a pistol round like that. You can't kill him that quick, you know?
That highlight for that dart from Tiny needs to be highlighted, though. Throwing that recon from CT into main when Bubs is right on lane to convince them that there's no one coming in main. They need that information. Do you have a player on A main and B main on the attack? But actually, they had 2 members flanking as the lurk didn't peek out, didn't see it. They were so weak. You can't blame them for that. But just a beautiful play from Last Resort to end up closing that round. And there could be a quick action from them out of the smoke.
Awesome damage done, some spam being made. Aside from that, it's a general trade coming through. Both the Sovers of each team are taken away. The Last Resort are coming out a little bit more sparkly, a little bit more health in their pools. Kara with Judge in hand, that smoke almost certainly confirming their suspicion of Joak here. It seems like he's still eager to maybe go into a fight. I mean, off screen, Last Resort are just 1 by 1 taking him down. Kara's just sitting there waiting for his prey to peek out through the webs and for him to strike and deal the killing blow. It feels like Last Resort now are almost certainly going to be taking this map.
I mean, fair enough. Shotguns definitely do the job in those positions. So if you have opponents walk into you, then, I mean, that's just a blessing, isn't it? This is such a substantial lead for Last Resort in this opening map. And yes, it's a map choice, but it's Ascent. If you're an established team, you're likely going to have a very good base on this map. This is such a confidence boost for Last Resort, but they're going to have to close it out. It's not over yet, however. It's very likely. Miso won't be able to hide. It's going to get tagged. And Kara, all 3, that's so much information.
I mean, yeah, Kara on his own able to provide that much is going to be massive here for Last Resort. Going to be seeing a slight rotation prompted, but the slowdown is still there. The Judge is in hand, but that drone is going to force him away. They know that he has that Judge. They don't want to deal with him close if they can help it. There's not really so much he can do. I mean, Kara's got a little bit of backup here. Really much else can you do? Rotation from Aconite is going to be called. And mid is completely out in the open, almost free real estate. Only that middle alarm bot be the source of info here.
Aconite are put into a similar position that Last Resort were in the prior half. It feels like you have no information on your side, no map control. What are you going to be able to work with?
I mean, contact made here. Chicken Feet will secure a guarantee at least 3 present now. So that's almost going to be instantly prompting some rotations here from Last Resort. You can see the 2 Sentinels frantically running back. Tiny 9k with 1, Kara with 2. Back and forth. Pincer plays. Kara with the Sheriff will whip one out and get a pick onto Hayden. Now with Vandal in hand, waiting for the right moment to swing onto Bubs, and it's just a perfect bait and switch here. Kara might not get the other one. Joak will bounce back, gets 2, but he's only got 15 health in his hands, and he's trying to bait out a swing from taking the side of that deadlock wall, but he's going to get caught by the cross from Adam, and that's a clean 12th round secured here from Last Resort. And a valiant attempt from Joak, though. 2 nice clean kills back-to-back, making a 1v4, a 1v2. Just too low on the health draw to really do anything about the rest.
Yeah, I mean, get these players on your radar. Kara just showcasing such talent again. I mean, we saw this in the series earlier also against an opponent that you'd expect them to have a more dominant showing against, but this could be even more dominant in the winner's semi-final against another top 3 seed. So that would be very, I mean, it is very impressive already so far. Last Resort are now looking to actually have some presence toward mid instantly, and they've just left A completely open, but it could work perfectly for them.
It might, yeah. Chicken Feet's been scanned by that drone, but he's going to be using that Shadow Step to back himself away, claim a little extra space. Alarmbot confirming the suspicions. No over-aggression here. Kara, an attempt to be a pincer play to help his teammate, but he goes down so quickly. But it is responded in kind here for Aconite. 2 members go down. Adam and Kara both out of the picture. And it's only the Cypher here of Aconite to have gone. Hunter's Furio is also still in the hands here of Aconite. Can use that for the post-plant if they wish to. That wall going to be thrown out through tree. Almost practically guaranteeing this retake to be a bit more difficult, giving away a bit of information. Bubs, he's scanned, but he's safe.
It could be the same demise for Aconite. They have no control of extremities. However, that drone has gotten a lot of information, but as I say that, Chicken Feet on the flank will take down Misu, and now that opens for the floodgates for Last Resort to try and go into the site. Tiny stalled out for their second, but all of the individual fights are going the way of Last Resort, and just Bubs left standing. Beautiful. And that's the map. That's a dominant showing on Ascent for Last Resort to start out this series.
So one-sided. Not that we expected to start, honestly. We thought this would be close, but not this time. Aconite, unfortunately, out on a whimper in this first map. It is Last Resort's pick, so there is a small stint of hope for this Aconite roster. Next up, we have Icebox. What do you think? What are we going to be expecting from this team on Icebox?
I mean, Icebox is known to be a very puggy, very fight-based map. That is exactly what was going the way of Last Resort for a lot of that game. We did see moments of individual brilliance from Aconite, from several players, from Miso, from Hayden, notably with those 3Ks, but Last Resort were sort of another level on that map in both the individual brilliance and the macro play in the adjustments they were making. So Aconite are going to have to step up on Icebox.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see on whether or not Aconite can bring it back. Unfortunately, not a good start on Ascent, and Last Resort are on a absolute heater. But maybe Icebox could cool them down, and Aconite could bounce it back to get us to map 3. We'll find out after the break. We'll see you guys soon.
Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to EPIC45 with Intel. We are still in the winners semi-final of our Valorant bracket between Aconite and The Last Resort. The Last Resort taking a very dominant game on their map pick of Ascent in map 1, and now we're heading into Icebox, which is Aconite's choice.
Yeah, this is the time.
Yeah.
Has to be now. It really has to be now. Ascent was super one-sided in the favor of The Last Resort. They looked just so strong individually as well. Kara was on an absolute tear. Adam was on an absolute tear. Tiny was completely shredding it, being the top player in the lobby, I believe, ending off the map. And so Icebox is ironically a map that would favor a team in such good form, like The Last Resort.
Yeah.
But surely Aconite have something on board, something in mind to bring this down. My guess is going to be running, again, a much more control-heavy thing, because last time we saw these guys play Icebox, we had a chance to see them before they started playing. They like to run the double control of the Harbor Viper.
Yeah.
Is that going to be incorporated again, or do you think they're going to alternate? Because last time they did this, it was against a team that they won very convincingly against. Do you think they're going to be taking it more seriously and pivot, or do you think this is the comp they're going to be looking in for?
I don't think that's something they're going to pivot from. They've ran that in VCL relegations. They've been running that for a decent time now. It's a composition that they evidently feel confident on, and something they're picking into, let alone just something they decide to run. So, yeah, I don't see them moving away from that, and I don't think the Ascent result would really affect that. If this was a rematch, and maybe they play Icebox again and it doesn't go their way, then that's where I'd expect a change. But going into this, I think they're going to keep with the composition they've been running before.
I agree. The Last Resort, I think these guys, although running a little bit slight pivoting of the unconventionals on Ascent, it is still pretty much common on many other aspects, right? Yeah. They like running the Jet, they're in the Omen, they're in the Killjoy, they're in the Sova. I wonder if it's going to be a similar deal this time. They have the agent pool where they all like running those agents regardless, right? You're still going to see Kara on Jet. You're still going to see the same people on the same agents, right? Aside from swapping the Deadlock and the Omen for a Viper and possibly another alternative, maybe a second Duelist, maybe a KO. That's been very common on Icebox. Maybe also a Gecko is also very common. It really depends on what kind of strategy you want to go into, but if I was to guess, I think the Last Resort are going to stick to traditional routes in terms of their composition. What do you think?
For me, it'll be really interesting to see what agent Adam is on, because we've been seeing him sort of in that Sentinel, second Sentinel slot, sometimes a smoke slot, but he's been a duelist player before. We already saw Jake on Killjoy on that previous map. That's the only real Sentinel you're going to need. You're going to incorporate that Viper as well, but that will be your main smoke slot for a map like Icebox. I almost feel like he could go on Reyna.
Yeah.
On a map like Icebox. It's one of the very few maps that enables just aggression, reclears, peaks, something that Reyna thrives off of. I mean, the only map you can really compare it to in the map pool is Corrode.
Yeah.
In that sense. So
even that way, I mean, what other map could you consider possible for Reyna aside from Icebox? Not only is it a map that encourages skirmishing and so is rewarded by characters like Reyna, but its verticality makes her flashes really strong. Yeah. Infinite range on the flashes.
Okay, not Adam.
Just throw out, but still Reyna going to be locked in here for Aconite, but it's going to be chicken feet instead.
Okay, well, a half correct prediction. We'll take those, but
correct, incorrect, maybe a task failed successfully kind of moment.
Yeah, I mean the most important thing is we're seeing Reyna either way.
Damn straight. Yeah,
and that might actually be an important thing in this matchup compositionally, since oftentimes people don't really always run flashes on Icebox. It's one of the maps where you feel that you're able to get away with not running those. But having Reyna flashes, which are actually some of the best in the game.
I mean, on this map particularly, really strong.
Yeah, they're just very disruptive flashes that you need to confirm your presence to or not if you want to keep your vision. So flashing through those Viper walls, Harbor walls could be a big thing in executing sites.
Yeah, on top of that, dealing with any kind of retake attempt early on is also really, really strong. For example, you can hold yourself up from top B main, and flash out in the open once your wall goes down. That's loads of pressure applied to force them to shoot that and prioritize maybe something else. Someone else could swing from yellow. Someone could swing from main off of that flash after the wall has gone down. That's a really good example of what you could do with that Reyna flash for Icebox. On top of that, you can fight it from belt. You can fight it from top 410 to clear so many angles.
Yeah.
It's absurd how versatile Reyna's flash is, thanks to the sheer verticality on Icebox. It's the one, and in my mind, only true map where you could see Reyna be used and not scoff, thinking it's just solo queue.
Yeah. It's not very technical, but I do think we're going to have to see a step up in overall the individuals on the side of Aconite. Yeah. Since especially the Harbor Viper leans into the sense of you don't exactly know where they're committing to. You have sustained vision blocks, sustained vision denial. You're going to be able to at least try and hide where the main presence of your team is. But if you're sort of doing all these slow rounds, but you're still just going to get shut down by gunfights, it won't really matter in the end.
Yeah, that was the thing that we saw from last round, right? Last map. It was one of those things where you could see the composition on tactics on paper working, but with the battles ensuing, the contacts being made, first blood spilled on both sides. It's a 1-for-1, the Jet for the Sova. The last resort, they're still holding strong. They're still surviving. Attempt of early aggression is not going to work.
Tiny peeks that!
You can't do that, surely. I don't think he was even through the wall. I think Misu just walked in and just got the kill. It might have just been that. And so the fight's still ensuing. Chicken Feet in an attempt through the flash, but it's not going to do anything. And Aconite now with 3 left intact. It's just Jake alone. And as soon as he makes himself known towards Misu, Jorak will quickly punish. And that's pistol round 1 for Aconite. A good start.
We saw a couple moments in the previous map. Tiny overpeaked sometimes, but it didn't even end up mattering, even though he's on the Sova, because he just converted those kills. Maybe a bit too overconfident, peeking through his own Viper wall into 3 people and getting instantly headshot. Maybe a bit of a reality check, but regardless, the pistol going over to the side of Aconite, that's something that you definitely want to have just as that tone setter for the second map after such a dominant loss.
Yeah, winning the round is just the thing that boosts your morale. It brings hope to your team. You know, if we can win it, we can win 12 more. And Kara will just be a strike in the gut here of Aconite. Swiftly getting that pick and making Last Resort lose.
This mid-luck could be massive.
What's going to happen here? Chips in the night. Orb going to be up here soon, potentially made contact. And there's the fight. Joak will win over Jake. And that's a big exchange. Mid control now taken away, but Joak's in a vulnerable spot, and he has to pick between Adam or Kara, and he's going to choose to fall to the hands of Adam. With more pushes coming through, the dart will reveal Tiny 9K's position. He's going to be backing away. Drone, though, will come out instead. It's going to reveal a little bit of positioning here, but the high tide is going to conceal quite a bit here for the rest of Last Resort. But still, that scan, it's just excellent.
Out of charges.
Shock dart thrown out. Tiny 9K might even have a chance to do a bit of damage here. First done. Tiny 9K will get 1. Still more from Chicken Feet, but 1-for-1 back to back. It's in favor of Aconite. Bobs! He's caught in the open reloading. And Kara will punish. Last Resort will claw their way back.
Last Resort had so much information across the entire map once Joak fell. They instantly walked down B main as soon as that A presence was detected, and that meant they were able to have the rotates come through. The high tide was great at stalling the retake, but once Last Resort hit that go button, they did not stop. And a pistol is a great tone setter, but not if you lose the second round, because that is even worse for a start of a half.
Oh yeah, no doubt. That just makes things so scary here for Last Resort. For Aconite, sorry.
Yeah, and now that Last Resort know that they can freely walk down B main and not get challenged, they may start disrespecting that. They may just start continually walking down there until Aconite showcase a response, showcase that they sometimes put someone towards that area. It's looking like Joak is going to do exactly that for the start of this round. And Chicken Feet is just going to walk down middle instead. You know, I'll just walk down all areas of the map, see what Aconite have to offer at each of them. Checking out the whole menu.
This is a very scattered map we're seeing at the moment here.
Yeah, and it's looking like it's going to be an AN, but Joak could have a very crucial lurk over towards that B side, breaking the alarm bot and trying to throw off the information that Last Resort have on them.
So much damage down onto Bubs there through spawn as well. And finally now, Jets are starting to get a little bit busy here. Misu will be the favorable one though, but Chicken Feet will exchange in kind. And so, it's back to 3-3. Feet, in the last one to dealt some damage, will get himself recovered a little bit, courtesy of the Rainer heals. Joak up through tube has been unchecked. Turret being broken through mid is going to make things a little bit more scary here for Jake. He's going to have to make some extra assurance tests to ensure that nobody will be caught out through mid. And Joak will be respecting of it. He's going to be staying still, maintaining to be that little cockroach.
30 seconds left.
Out through tube. Chicken Feet will spot him, and soon he's going to be hunting. Aside from that, the rest are going to be up through B. Joak will finally go down, and it's just the remaining 2 members here of Aconite on the B site, and they will both concede. 2-1 Last Resort. They keep that win in stride here.
I mean, it was a valiant attempt from Aconite. That high tide on A was able to actually put Aconite in a pretty good position to enter that B site. They didn't know it, but it was the right call at the time in the sense of it kept one player over towards A, one in middle, one on B. So they had a chance to be able to have a big numbers advantage entering into that B site, but they just didn't catch the timing. They were a bit too slow on it. That mid lurk was nice from Joak, though, keeping the members over, but Last Resort just once again able to find responses and seemingly not having a way.
That was close from Kara. Had he hesitated a little less, had he committed to finding the first head that popped out regardless of the drone, he would have been able to take down Misu. Thankfully, on the other side, Jake will even out the numbers. Joak, after getting a solid pick down to check the beat, will be traded out by Jake. And with that cascade being used, you've got the Reckoning in his possession as you're grabbing that orb. So, with this push coming out here from the Killdrive Aconite, he's going to be claiming a lot of early space, but Last Resort, they're not falling for it. They're still staying stalwart onto the site. And letting that mid utility from the Killdrive really work in spades. This fake has not been sold. And the drone is going to be out and just confirm their suspicions. Surely, right? It didn't catch anyone!
It didn't spot
no!
That's massive. The fact that it didn't spot them. Last Resort started just to rotate off of the site, but now Tiny is going to be solo on this A-hole, not able to find anything, and the high tide will protect Aconite, so they will be able to get a spike plant down. But how is the post-plant situation going to be? Last Resort are already initiating into a retake.
He got himself killed to his own panic. He's let himself isolate and alone, upset that he left the site. He had to try and make up for it, and he couldn't. In fact, he threw his life on the line and couldn't get anything for it. And now this is making Aconite so much more in a comfortable position. The tap is in, the triple peek comes through, confirming that they're off, but Kara will get his one. Hayden, though, will respond with two. Adam and Jake are both gone, and it's up to Kara with the operator to do the last job. But he can't do it. A save is called. And Aconite will even out the numbers and make it 2-2.
Yeah, and that's why teams opt for this A site on this map, right? The post plant. Those positions are so difficult to deal with if you're that defending side. Just the best you can hope for is Viper Wall or smokes, even though the spam can still come through. But I mean, just a very, very great turn of events for Aconite in that late round there. That drone not spotting Bubs, even though it was in range. I mean, and those rotations just instantly coming through. If that information was accurate, the Last Resort had, that would have been the completely appropriate play. Just all run towards B. That's where they're ending. But that wasn't the case.
All this time.
But Aconite, Aconite again able to sort of utilize that double wall composition, using them on both sides of the map, and then just trying to cause all kinds of misdirection around the map. Joak has had some pretty good luck so far, but is about to walk into a Viper operator. May get shut down by that, but Last Resort are taking their own space on it.
He's vigilant. Joak is not going to be committing to the push. He's suspicious. I mean, I don't know. He must be counting his lucky stars in the future when he sees this and notices he was about to walk into an operator, but
Last Resort seemed
slow.
It seemed like they were convinced it's an A, but now that there's no follow-up sound, they've kept 3 players over towards B and middle, but Aconite read that.
Chicken Fate spotted them, though. He's seen them out through mid, pushing through, so maybe A is confirmed here. And so the space from Kara, although initially claimed in heavy degree, is going to be taken away, but Tiny 9K will make up for it. He grabs one onto Miso, and that's a big initiator on the site taken away, but Miso on the opposite side of the map here will manage to grab Adam, and that's the Viper taken away, and that's instantly called the rotation here for Aconite.
This is such a crazy position for Misu to be in.
I mean, what? How is he even there?
So much power. Yeah, I mean, jet lurk, but so much power, so much responsibility in this position. If you go down, that makes the retake much easier for Last Resort, and that's going to be exacerbated by the fact that Pick is found on the lurk in middle. The Hunter's Fury denies Bubs his life in the final seconds of this round, and Hayden is going to have to get this spike down very late, but he will survive to do so. Misu still over in CT, but he's as expected since he was already in that position before. Hayden has to stand the test against 2 players flanking him, and still members coming onto that site. They're being silent though. Kara with the instant headshot.
Kara frame 1 takes him down, and Misu not long to follow suit. I mean, just an unfortunate disaster later on in the round. 1 by 1, Aconite being split off and picked. Hunter's Fury takes down one. Another pick through mid as the rotation is called in. And unfortunately, they're just not able to work together. They're too far split. They took too much space, and that's just confirmed.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the Jet, it's pretty uncommon for you to be seen taking timings like that or taking lurks like that. But if you're the player that's in position to do so, you may as well go ahead and do it. But you could argue maybe a different response from Aconite would have worked better. But, I mean, something that works on paper. But once again, Last Resort seem to not care about that. They're going to take the rounds in their hands either way. Aconite put up to a much worse economy heading into what seems like an A-hit.
Cascade's going to be coming down now with Viper back up, eating the cycle of aggression, oppression onto the A site, but Aconite have not been afraid of this. They're just waiting for the right moment to strike. That first layer is going to be thrown out, so that's one out. And the Empress to follow suit here for the Last Resort's Reyna coming in. Kara, Tailwind proc, Chicken Feet joining in. 1 by 1, they're going down. Hayden will grab one of the Tiny9K off screen, but Kara is overwhelmed. Chicken Feet will join in and will take revenge for his teammate, clearing up the rest of Aconite and securing that 4K.
Last Resort had so many members ready for that A-hit and just perfect trades between them, peeking off each other. Misu, once that wall went down on 410, had absolutely no cover, no options left to him, but just to fall and die, essentially.
Yeah.
It's way too many angles to cover, trying to open that site for his team. It was the exact opposite as the opportunity was just shut down.
Iffy this time taking a bit more of an aggressive angle with Kara. Cascade and drone to be thrown to establish a bit of information, and might be confirmed soon that both the duels are there if Kara keeps himself concealed. Bladestorm from Misu, eager to take a fight, and Kara is caught off guard with this operator, but he's soon going to be walking back into Chicken Feet and will do some good enough damage, but can't land the knives. Chicken Feet will exchange. Miso has to go in and get it back for him. Aconite with the numbers advantage, lockdown being thrown in. Notice that Jake is trying to spam through, and he will catch up damage, but not a kill. Eden will respond. No spike planted. And Bubs is really low. Eden's hoping to maybe get one quick one-tap, but thankfully for Bubs, the plant is in. Dart will... Oh, he's dodged it just barely. Had he gotten through behind that box, he would have been a sitting duck. He would have been fresh meat served.
This lurk is the win condition. This lurk is so late from Joak.
You need this to work. Drone reveals one. It's a 2-1-3, Tiny9K and Adam, surely now privy of some sort of presence. They have to run, they have to fight these to not get pincered, and that succeeds. But Joak is quick enough to get one. Tiny9K, sliver of health left. You need to find the right moment. Joak, what was that? Rapid response, blink of an eye. Just flicks to him like he's playing Aim Labs.
Joak in the perfect position at the perfect time, just all off of his own pacing. I mean, that was... Yeah. Great patience to secure the round from him, and not to mention that flick also.
Oh my god, man.
It wasn't even necessary. Tiny was 1 HP, but still connected the headshot anyway, just the instinct.
Extra style points.
Yeah.
Add that to your resume, why don't you? My goodness.
I was even saying before the round, I think Aconite could maybe get their lurks activated a bit more. Maybe have some players towards that, shocked out the alarm bot, send someone else to break the turret just to cause a bit more confusion in regards to what's happening in mids, but they always have to be paranoid of Joak now when he has successful rounds like that sourced from that mid positioning.
Bub's first blood. Kara is down. A big shooter, a big killer in Last Resort lineup. Down early. Joak so quick to respond, so surgical back and forth. He already knew. He reads Adam like an open book. And 1 by 1, Last Resort are going it down. It's just Jake alone through mid. And at this point, he's just accepting his fate, maybe trying to get 1 by 1 picks, grab the stats, maybe get yourself a little lockdown security. I think guaranteed regardless he will get locked down next round, so even then it's a bit of a difficult scenario here. What does Jake do? Surely he hunts for at least one to get that lockdown secured. Or is he going to save? He's got the money.
Potentially. Not sure how that money looks for the rest of Last Resort, so it could be just saving a gun so they'll be able to have one more member with that kind of weaponry, as opposed to just trying to take hits at the economy of Aconite, but it's probably flourishing by this point with it. Couple successive rounds now in their belt.
Yeah, Jake patient, finding time to speak with his team, elaborate on what they want to do next. As Icebox first half so far has been incredibly close here. But Aconite seem to be at the moment the favored team with this ult economy. You notice you've got the Viper's Pit, you've got the Hunter's Fury, and you've got the Reckoning.
And it seems like a very different tale is being told on Icebox so far in comparison to Ascent. It's not only just through the first quarter of the map, but still a much closer scoreline so far. Last Resort have not been able to run away with anything just yet. And Aconite are going to look to build on this round lead, as you said, with their ultimate economy. 3 very important ones online for them.
I mean, there's no doubt favors surely a possible push up through A. You can guarantee yourself that post-plant security. You have that Reckoning to clear out the entirety of the site, and then you have a big usage of your utility to just lock that down. Aiden will grab the ore, will check the ore being seen there from Last Resort. And that ploy is gone, but they have secured 3 members there. I believe they spotted all 3, and so look at this instant rotation called here from Aconite. And this is where the Viper's Pit is surely going to be used with that Hunter's Fury post plant if that ends up backfiring. But no, Reckoning to start to
Adam
clear
has a
out
chance.
this back part of the site. Adam is vulnerable. He's spamming through. The spam to respond. The Snake Pit is not going to catch out Miso on this default plant. And so he's going to live. Miso onto Jake, a one-on-one, failing for the blue side for Last Resort. Killjoy, the utility is now out of the question. And there's not going to be any further ultimate investment. It seems like they're going to be reserving Hayden for this Hunter's Fury. Now, Arrow's pushing up. Misu with only 30 HP, still willing to peek into Tiny 9K, who will bounce back with a pick of his own. But with this Hunter's Fury now back in response, it's a good time to stall, but Drake again with these perfect lurks will shut it down quickly. It's a clean round from Aconite. Very nicely done. No overinvestments of their ultimates.
Yeah, what a thorn in their side. That's what Joak's being right now. But the main point of ending in B was that Aconite obviously finding that initial information of the 3 players on A, but they were just so confident in how much post-plant abilities they had, the mollies, the Sova, Hunter's Fury, that they were just confident to stay in main. They didn't need that extra space. And then Joak was able to be that insurance on the round, that final wraparound. And Aconite seemed very paranoid about the flank whilst that spike was ticking. But after they cleared it, Joak was, okay, I'll go through middle once again.
It's my time to shine.
Yeah.
Always good at finding his moments. So far, his late lurks have been excellent.
Last Resort are going to get so much B info. And if they break that alarm bot, it's likely that Aconite will just speed up into this A site.
Outlaw on the hands of Adam.
And it's gone.
Try and grab one.
Oh, wait. The alarm bot was taken back. It wasn't shot down. Oh, and the gunfight is just barely... Look at Joak, though. How are you there? He's under boiler.
He's pulling on his Nats cosplay right now. He snuck through mid like it's just free real estate, and he just gets 2 for free. Adam will trade him out. He's finally out of the picture, but it's no damage done. Last Resort almost gave that for free. What do you do here? You need some desperate plays here from your 2 superstar duelists here. Chicken Feet and Kara together have to do something. He's creeping up round belt. Might be able to catch them peeking through. Kara, he can't land it. Adam, though, will get one onto Misu. But, I mean, you had such a great chance, and it's been fumbled. Numbers are equal, but utility is really in the favor of Aconite. They can choose the momentum, the pacing of this fight, and they're going to be pincering down Adam. They're going to be ganging up on the lone Viper, but Adam is not afraid. He gets his ace, and it's secured. The confirmed win for Last Resort. What a response.
Adam is just...
him. He's him.
Adam is crazy in this series. Adam is delivering in every single way that you could ask for. That opening of a round was so immaculate. That's something that seems like, okay, the round's done. It's dusted. How on earth did Aconite get into those positions? That's just exactly what you need to get something across on the board. But you can't even take rounds in advantages like that just because, not even to their own fault, but to Adam's excellence.
It's just beautiful, man. No fear at all. I mean, Aconite were thinking, this guy's free. Let's go for him so those 2 can't pincer us in. And Adam's just like, yeah, come at me.
Yeah,
I'm a free pick, right? Come and get me. And he just kills them all, one by one.
Similar numbers. They move together, so they take 2 VXs.
Yeah.
They don't take individual fights.
They didn't even play that wrong.
I
It
mean,
was just well done from
I
Adam.
guess that's better for Adam, is just throw as many numbers as me as you want. I'm going to take them all out. Yeah, give all the kills to me.
Last resort now in favor with this ultimate economy. You still have the Viper's Pit here from Jark, which hasn't been used in a good while, but I think A site is going to be the target this time, but it's going to be difficult. You have so much ultimates to be worried about here. Are you going to really be using it in this half? Doesn't seem like it. Hunter's Fury's been missed here. And it's not going to land on anybody. And that's going to confront the Viper's Pit. He's been able to execute it now so that he can dodge that lockdown. That is a disastrous misplay of the Hunting Fury, surely, right?
Yeah, I mean, just a tiny bit too late, so not able to clear out all those options. Jark is going to intentionally get detained, but will the other members of Aconite be able to hold on? Misu with the running gun just denies Jake the opportunity to eliminate those detained players, and now a tap on the spike is going to cause paranoia. Both Viper's Pits in play. Molotov's Tiny with 3 kills deep into A. As the Viper's Pits go down, there's no vision, but Aconite will end up coming out on top of the chaos.
Nothing
so
left.
Much just happened.
It's gorgeous, man. It is gorgeous. I mean, Tiny 9K, America's collegiate player, coming back to Epic Land, coming back to Europe to rep his home pride and really pulling the stops there, but it's not enough for the last resort. Unfortunately, not able to continue the push despite Tiny putting such a good clinic to start. There's only so much you can do, and you have to blame the courtesy of that Hunter's Fury, surely.
Partially, but once again, such great positions for Aconite that seems so close or possible for Last Resort to convert into their own. Once that Viper's Pit is down, it's so difficult to get your hand back into that round. Tiny is just running down belt on A, and now has the entirety of information that there's no one towards that side. Joak is looking for the peak, but he hasn't overextended to the point of showing himself in spawn. The lockdown comes through, and Last Resort know exactly what's happening. Kara will take a peek, but also Chicken Feet is down in middle.
Oh, nice done from both individuals. They win their 1v1s respectively, and Misu, no fear of the Nano Swarm, will just spray down Jake like he's Rambo, and that's going to be enough to give the numbers in favor of Aconite in big margins here. They want to end this to a 7-5 half to go into the defense, and that's what you want with this composition. Double Harbor Viper is excellent to be dealing with here. Chicken Feet and Adam, they have to try and do something about this, but I mean, what do you do? Reckoning now, forcing you to move into an uncomfortable position to just serve yourself for free on Misu. A flawless end to this first half in favor of Aconite.
Finally, Adam doesn't convert a ridiculous round for Last Resort. That would have been, I might have just got up and left right then from how crazy that was. Go and watch behind the players, but that was sort of Aconite handing Last Resort their own medicine. Last Resort, it feels like there's been so many rounds back on Ascent where Aconite knew what they were doing, but still Last Resort were able to come out on top just from the execution. Aconite do the same. Last Resort had every piece of information on the map. They knew exactly that all 5 members of Aconite were in that B main, but still Aconite took the fight. Still they won the games. And we're going to have a little bit of a tech pause as we end the first half. Hopefully we'll be back soon. I believe it was a game crash.
Yeah, I believe it disconnects from one of the players here, but that being said, it's still important to note, right? I mean, Aconite is just doing really good. Like you said, giving Last Resort their own medicine. It's becoming a little bit poetic here. And Aconite want to take us to a map 3. They want to get this through. You want to be in that comfy position. Being in that upper final is really important. Guaranteeing yourself top 3. Maybe even top 2 if you manage to take down the next opponent afterwards. But Last Resort are a worthy adversary, to say the least.
I believe there was an Aconite map icebox earlier. I'm not sure which side they were starting on, but there was a 7-5 half they had, and then on that second half, there were no rounds dropped.
Wow.
So although this has been a very close affair so far, there's room for not just Aconite, but either of these teams to run away once the sides have changed.
Yeah, this switch on the half might be the difference maker for both of these teams, maybe preference-based as well. Double Duelist on the attack, double Controller on the defense. It's another clash that could be a little bit exciting. We'll have to wait and see on how this will happen, how this will play out. I think Aconite, you'd have to favor them slightly here, not only winning this half, but also just having a superior composition to be dealing with this. So much ability to slow down the fight, control the tempo with the double control. The Harbor Viper is excellent on this map. And Aconite have been able to prove how worthy they are with that Harbor usage. Usually never used, but only in those specific situations like on Pearl and on this map particularly. It's the value that really counts for that utility and how you work with it together.
But if you'd want someone to brute force through a sight hold and a composition to brute force through a sight hold, it's Last Resort and exactly what they're running on this icebox with that Reyna, right? Likely going to be at least slight differences in their approaches to the attack as what we've seen from Aconite. Probably much faster pace, although there still are definitely options to change where you are around the map and cause some misdirection. That Viper Orb in mid enables a lot of that. We are going to see Last Resort defaulting their Viper Orb towards B, at least for now. So they're not going to have that support if they go over towards that A site without having a second controller. But I mean, it's very common to see that from teams such as this.
Have to wait and see on whether or not things will change in the styling. Things will change in the individual. Chicken Feet and Kara, they've seen really strong in this match. I mean, they haven't maybe been able to do game round defining moments, but they have had a couple good showings and moments that did contribute to their teammates winning the round. I think that's the thing to look out for. I mean, Tiny 9K, aside from that small blip of brilliance, has been a little bit more on the quiet side this map so far, but we're going to be hopefully seeing that executed even further now that he's going to be able to be on that attack side, shifting the perspective here.
Out of charges.
Hopefully that will change things. I mean, he is going to have a very essential role into snuffing out this double controller. He is going to be someone that needs to stay alive and needs to provide that value with the utility that he has, like the drone and the dart, to get rid of those really annoying, pesky infinite walls that Aconite are going to be throwing out.
Yeah, and as we get out of the tech pause and back into the round, starting the second half of map 2, I'd like to see if the lurks are going to be sort of as much of a focal point for Last Resort on their attack side. They're just going to start with a default heavy towards B, starting slow, starting quiet. But Aconite are already pivoting. I believe they got early information onto B. So, I mean, Last Resort have dashed out to yellow. Tiny, though, may be able to spot this walker, may catch them off guard, but Miso saw the gun, but still falls to Tiny. Hayden is just going to have to back away, can't get the trade, and Last Resort are just committing into B. This mid push is going to have to be big.
It has to. The numbers of Last Resort are now in full force on the B side. And you've got this flankish from Aconite here. You can see Joak walking, creeping up, waiting for the moment to strike here. Miso onto Kara, wins another fight. 1 by 1, Last Resort are falling apart. Joak onto Jake, a great flank here. Chicken Feet has to change things, and he is doing a good job to start. But look at how much investment they're trying to do to get rid of this Viper. Time is ticking down. You have 35 seconds left, and Joak is becoming once again a thorn in your spine. You've spotted him. You need to win the fight. Some whiffs, but it works out in the hands of Last Resort. And this now surely is the instant call to rotate. You have 20 seconds left. You need to commit.
Hayden hasn't rotated yet because the rain is moving so late, but that spike is going to be on Adam and moving its way quickly towards that A site. Such little time and so much to do. Adam is going to have to fend off 2 players. Tiny will do that for him.
Tiny, the Guardian Angel, saves his team. And Hayden now alone, going to be committing to an attempt at a 1v1, but Tiny 9K will once again strike the fear. Like we said, he's going to be the one to be shining in this attack side, and shine he will. Pistol round 1 for Last Resort.
And initially that slowdown from Last Resort, that second tempo, ended up being the start of their downfall in that round. That gave Aconite time for Joak to activate the flank, to get an isolated fight, for Miso from CT to catch off a player repositioning. But Last Resort again fight against the odds in these rounds, and again take the conversion. I mean, Tiny just doing a great job of defending Adam, planting that spike, allowing that to come through, and for them to have the ability to play that post plant. But early presence shown on A from both sides. A lot of members from Last Resort here. They could potentially commit off of this drone.
Last Resort still, despite that, have had a few issues dealing with Joak on that lurk, and maybe this will happen again later on into the round, but so far in this attack side, it is looking good here for the Last Resort. Kara will draw first blood to Miso. Hayden unchecked, now found and dead in the hands here of the Last Resort. They will wipe the floor with the entirety of the defenders here in Aconite, and it's so Joak alone. Chicken Feet already privy of a potential mid lurk, and he's caught him out through. It's going to be a one-on-one fight. Sheriff versus Ghost. Chicken Feet is whirling, running around. around, making the fake steps to give Tiny a pretty easy pass to get that pick up from top boiler, and that is going to be the equalizing round here for Last Resort.
Yeah, I mean, not much tactical persuasion had to go into that one. We've got better guns. Let's go towards that A site. It's just going to be better for us. We can take a brawl. We can trade out those players. We can find that number advantage ourselves, and they did exactly that. A great round to close it out, and we did see a bit of light investment going into that eco round for the side of Aconite, but they are going to all come through with rifles going into this bonus, so a round that they're definitely going to want to convert for themselves.
No doubt about that. Seems like they're going to be doing a 3-1-1 split for Aconite this time. Attempting to aggress more space, but now that they've not made any noise, two members are instantly rotating to try and back up the poor lone Viper, who needs to deal with so much here. But Jarek will still survive. With half HP in his name, Kara will take space of that yellow, and now that back snowman area is in that control. The wall will come up to claim that plant to come through here for the Last Resort. And as it will come through, now the rotations are in. Tiny will catch out Hayden, though. And that's a massive pick to go down. Hayden may be a little bit overzealous here. Just alone trying to go for a pick and catch out the planter. And that's going to snowball. Misu is taking down Jake off screen.
Last Resort putting so many numbers towards that flank.
Misu, again, alone, being a massive pain in the backside here of Last Resort, making this dangerous, but Tiny will just run through like he's playing Call of Duty, and in the blink of an eye, 4 members of Aconite are wiped off the map. It's like a nuke dropped and this team is gone.
They're all found in the same area, and the Hunter's Fury does so much damage.
It's like you miss it.
Aconite are playing in ways where they are finding great information on the map, but it's almost like it's working against them.
Yeah.
They push down A. They know it's a B hit. That, or there's several members, or at least a lurk put towards middle. They know that there's no one on A. They're ready for the B hit. Hayden falls. The flank comes through. Misu takes out Chicken Feet. It seems like it's going to be a great position for them.
TLR giving him so much respect.
And then the site players aggress main and just all die in a moment's notice for it.
Yeah.
It's just completely chaotic. It just doesn't make sense. The mid lurk going to find a fight again.
Misu. But screen will catch out through the push here. He and Jarek together. They're moving up to take mid control, and that's forced Last Resort to give back numbers to maintain control of mid. But they've already given Misu the rifle, and Jake is another one to fall. Another unfortunate error here from the Last Resort. They weren't able to really take vengeance back on Misu's push through mid alongside Joak, and now it's slowed down. Chicken Feet's trying to find a number to gain, someone to take down, someone to clear open the site. But Aconite not giving a single inch. Dart thrown out, enabling Chicken Feet to take a little more space. Miso is revealed, he's the only one spotted. Takes a little damage, it's laboured fights here, but Chicken Feet's just willingly going in here, has to reload, takes so much damage as well. How does he deal with this? Kara on his side, Jarek on the Chicken Feet will go take him down. It's up to Kara and Tiny 9K alone here to deal with 5 members of Aconite. First down, Bladestorm from Misu will pile up the bodies, and it will be a thrifty win here for Aconite.
It seemed like that A committal was almost a last-minute decision for Last Resort, that spike being so far back, but Aconite ready for the hit regardless of how it was executed, and just able to completely shut it down.
Indeed.
What a game Misu's having.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. 21-12. And loads of money in the bag here as well for his team. He's going to be able to afford an operator next round if he chooses to. And that's going to be really, really scary if you're Last Resort. Not really much to be able to deal with that. Not a lot of utility to really counteract it.
Aconite were finally able to convert some of those early round advantages off of that time that mid push they got. But hold on, Misu shutting down the dash in from Kara and getting his team the first blood for the defensive side. Tiny is going to look to deal some damage in return of the shock dart. But Chicken Feet will be the one to do just exactly that, evening out to a 4v4, and there's still quite a few players towards A.
Although a player worthy of an ego takes a step a little too far, and Miso is going to be the next target on his back here. It's Last Resort. It's hunting. Chicken Feet with a good start, only without any shields or decay to really use here. So he's trying to find a little more. He can't. The high tide's going to suppress it. It's all quiet. Turret will reveal the presence of Joak, surely now confirming that it is the Viper there. Now you know it's a 4-on-3 if you choose to engage onto the site. Adam will use this Viper's Pit to fully claim this space on the site. But Miso is looking to invade. Chicken Feet onto Bubs will grab another number in their favor, and Jake with more. Miso is down, and this Viper's Pit is becoming more and more oppressive. Spam attack from Joak, but that's all it's really going to be. Spike is still down. It's a 3-on-2, but this pit is going to make things so difficult here for Aconite.
Hayden is so close to multiple members, but finds Jake somehow still alive. Joak behind them, but Adam will take out Joak's brother, and now he just has to do it alone against 2 players, but won't be looking in the right direction at the right time. Adam will close it and put Last Resort back in the lead.
Yeah, initially you thought, oh no, that's a big disaster. You had Kara lost on that dash. Goes out, takes a little extra space down belt, puts pressure on Pipes, but Kara rapid 1-tap to the dome will add that number, but then he got a little too greedy pushing out. And that backfired horribly.
Yeah, and there's not many ultimates on the board yet, but some will be close online. We see 2 away from the Viper's Pit on the side of Aconite and 1 for Miso's ultimate. They're going to be doing this cascade over towards A once again. Not able to break that recon dart, but the operator... it does confirm the kill on the second ask of trying. Chicken Feet is going to be taken down, and now... Oh, okay. Joak gets proactive on B, but that's completely shut down. Now Aconite have no information towards that side of the map. That's going to prompt Miso to rotate over to that side, but the drone will come through over on A. Miso will get tagged, have to back away. And now, what's your response if you're Aconite?
I mean, a really good luck there from the Viper of Last Resort. Adam just perfectly making that read, knowing that Joak is going to be acting proactive once they reveal themselves to have presence on A. It was really well done. That Viper Fear is now out of the picture, and they're going to be able to claim the site fully by themselves. It's not going to clear anyone up, and that's going to confirm at least that back site is going to be not really too much of an issue here. You still, though, got this operator from Aconite's Jet in Miso. He has been terrifying in this game, and soon to be in this series if this continues. But one by one, Aconite are losing out, and it's just Miso alone. And Kara, who else to be the one to finish off Miso and take away this operator? Now a breakaway has been made.
Yeah, a breakaway, and likely a breakaway, and the economy alongside it. And that's really not what you want to be seeing if you're Aconite, when Last Resort are 3 rounds out to not only closing out Icebox, but closing the series, and a very pivotal time to call a timeout from the side of Aconite, from their IGL Bubs. And he's got to have something cooking.
Yeah, we need to find something, right? I mean, not really the strongest utility. However, ultimates-wise, they do have that Reckoning they can use for retake, especially if it's on A. That's going to be really helpful. Maybe even use it to full pressure on through B main. Yellow can be used to be cleared out themselves, and that's really all you have unless you want to try and go into orbs. I mean, we can try and take a look at the extra ultimate economy from the other teams if we can have a look at that. And aside from that, though, I mean, Last Resort have a Blade Storm, have an Empress that can just be used to win those raw skirmishes. You know, if we can see Aconite claim maybe an extra ultimate, maybe a Hunter's Fury or a Lockdown, depending on what they haven't used yet, we could see something happen here. But Bubs, I mean, definitely speaking some sense of the team, and King has alongside him, aiding in that analysis to help him out. Aconite have a lot of smart minds there to give them some help in this Icebox series. This has to be one, otherwise they're not going to be in a comfortable position one bit. They need to win this.
This is where previous timeouts from the series can come into play in your mind, right? Because in a previous Aconite timeout on Ascent, Last Resort still came out with changes to their play, not only just continuing into the same thing. When Aconite would have adapted, they changed it up themselves. So early mid presence is going to be shown by multiple players on Last Resort once again. Not leaving Aconite any free room to breathe. They want to take out that Killjoy information early. That's now going to be okay. Adam
Miso
shutting down the A walk-up, and he potentially could look for a second. Miso holding that angle. And Aconite have been pushed so far back on the left side of the map, but Miso is their only far-up presence.
We see Miso moving up here, and Adam is still staying stalwart on that belt area. This look could really matter. You can see Aconite being a bit more spread out, looking to claim a little bit of extra mid-control to ensure that nobody's lurking out, maybe even catching out the turret there. But aside from that, it's effectively a 4-man full engage here from Last Resort onto B. And it's just Hayden watching. That drone is going to be good information, at least confirming one here, but you don't really have a lot of numbers. This is going to make things really difficult. What are you going to do in this scenario? Plant comes down from Chicken Feet. He's going to be able to confirm that in. Adam.
In attacker spawn.
Oh no, timing not the right situation there for Joak. Not expecting him to still be creeping up from A. And that's going to be a disastrous there. The pincer lurk pressure is out for Last Resort. And now all they have to worry about is what's very much in front of them. Tiny 9K onto Hayden, 1 by 1. Aconite 4. Bubs with an attempt onto Kara. But it's slow and steady of a burn. Could they use the Reckoning in the 4v2? I don't know if they're going to really want to invest that, and it won't happen. It's just Bubs, and he's gone. Adam with a 3K, 11 rounds for Last Resort.
Last Resort deny all routes of escape for Bubs at the end and move to an 11-8 scoreline. And Adam doing so well in impact on the macro side, just able to shut down Joak's lurk, not only being able to wrap around at the end of the round, securing the round, or securing that late round just like Joak did on the attack, but also finding even more impact by shutting down the enemy flanks, the enemy wraparounds, just doing that all in one go.
Yeah.
Someone who's had just such a deciding sort of presence in this series.
Yeah, it's not been easy for Aconite. And the Blade Storm there from Kara's not going to make things any easier. Dark's going to reveal a little bit. Tiny 9K is going to be given away. Hunter's Fury thrown out from Hayden to catch him out as well. It's making things a little bit difficult here. Adam onto Bubs. Misu with a desperate attempt to try and make numbers happen, to make ends meet. But he's only got a Sheriff in hand, and Kara will sit him down with the Blade Storm. Get out of my way. I'm the best jet here, and I'm going to prove it. But Hayden will back that up himself. Get an exchange in. Chicken Feet with the trade in. It's going to make this a 3-on-1, and Last Resort are once again piling on pressure. Once again, all up to Joak, who can only do so much with just a Sheriff. It's a dominant round for a good anti-eco round for Last Resort. No risks taken. Well done from this team.
Yeah. Last Resort are sending players across the map to keep an eye on whether Aconite have those walk-ups happening, but it feels like they don't even need backup. The fact that there are just several angles on A, for example, the fact that you can peek from belt, the fact that you can peek from lower, they're just choosing such good timings to catch the Aconite players off guard. They're able to get one at such a tight angle and just get out, even though there's a second Aconite member aggressing on that part of the map. That's been such an important part of some of these recent rounds. Aconite have several ultimates online as Last Resort are going for a very fast B split. Bubs is going to have to find at least one hit, and he will do. But now the play onto B comes through. Joak will find a second, and Misu with the operator, not the best gun for the scenario. Kara is outside of the scope, will able to be fine to take him out, but Joak will respond in turn. Adam again shutting down Joak, still making him the last Viper alive in the server, and it's a 2-on-3 in favor of Aconite.
Still a winnable round. You've got both lockdowns in exchange. They're just waiting for some sort of confirmation that this site is going to be the final battle here. Adam will take tap, and Jake and Bubs will make contact. Battles need to be done. It's just Adam alone in a 1 versus 2. Trade is clean, but you need more. What do you do? Miso and Hayden are cautious. Playing together. Rightfully so.
If Adam had this level of a series and was able to close it out in a round like this.
No, surely not. Got 30 seconds.
30 seconds left.
And you can see he's trying to find a split isolation. But he can't find it. He's going to have no choice but to stick the plant. And he's now locked himself onto the site. He's got no choice but to make this the last one! But he just barely loses! A clean kill onto Miso and a spray down onto Hayden that only leaves him with 8 HP. But that's all Hayden needs. Diffuses in. Aconite are not done yet.
8 health was the difference between Last Resort going to the upper finals and Aconite keeping their hopes alive of advancing through the winner's side.
I mean, my goodness, look at this KD from Adam, 24 and 11. The Vipers in this series, in this map in general, have been phenomenal, but Adam is really standing out right now. Did excellent last map as well. Definitely contender for MVP of this series so far. Yeah, and not only is it numbers, because sometimes it could be kills that are, you know, your teammates found kills and you're just getting the last few in a 5v2, 4v2. It's not like that. He's creating openings. He's
creating insurance. He's securing rounds for Last Resort, and it's just one more needed for them to move into the top 3, and Misu will look to not let that happen as he finds the first with the op.
Can't allow an exchange though from Adam onto Joak. Again, the Battle of the Vipers goes in the hands of the red side. Down goes that Viper's Pit, maybe even enabled by that pick onto Joak. Exchanges in, that makes this operator here from Kera useless. Misu needs to do something. Operator from Era, Misu useless. We just what? Misu? You can't do that! You can't get away with just spamming through. This might have just flipped this in completely on its head. Tiny 9K's position now is risky.
Miso spotted that barrel.
No.
These players know. The operator is holding for exactly that reason. There's going to be a free fire here. And it's just one member left standing for Last Resort.
Aconite, how do you get away with shenanigans like this? Jake will fall one by round by round. Aconites are still surviving. How do they get away with situations like that? They get 2 kills with the spam through the Viper's Pit, and one of them is the holder of the Viper's Pit. How do they get away with that? Absolutely. I mean, call it luck, call it sheer mind-reading skills, call it clairvoyance, whatever kind of black magic you wish for. That is so impactful. Aconite need to survive because now economy is starting to shift in their favor. One more round win, and they're in the driver's seat.
Yep. And only a second after that to obtain overtime for a chance to extend play, to extend this series into Haven, into map 3.
You've got Lockdown and the Pit there as well. You've got 2 really strong ultimates that can be used to deny either site take.
Misu's engagement could be a decider. And he finds the first. Chicken feet just absolutely deleted from this round. Looking for a second. Kera will stay alive for now, but is so weak. It's a 5v4 in favor of Aconite in what could be the decider of whether they go to overtime or not. Adam is going to have to work together with Tiny to try and find a way to break into this B site. Adam just opting to back away as Joak still backed off towards B, but Kera is in such a deep position on A. There's a high-low though, but he's still able to isolate the jewel, and then he goes on different pathing. Bubs is not going to be able to trade that, and this spike plant is likely going to be able to come through. The Molotov is not in the right position. It's an even numbers retake, but it feels like it should not have been the case, and that's planted for Belt. That's planted for Belt. There's no flank coming through. This is now extremely difficult. The Viper's Pit is the only hope for Aconite.
Aconite need to do something about this. Maybe they'll have no choice but to invest the Viper's Pit to secure this.
That Viper's Pit is far up.
Well, it's going to use it. Hunter's Fury is also there present, and it's going to be used. They need to make pressure. It's a skirmish back and forth. Misu with a shorty onto Jake. Still 3-on-3. Misu goes down, courtesy of Tiny 9K. But the defuse, it's coming in. Joak will take down the Pit. And the defuse from Bubs, it's half. It's a 1-on-1, and Bubs will keep Aconite in it.
The IGL of Aconite keeps them alive in the upper bracket. Now just 1 round left to take themselves to overtime. That got scary when that Viper's Pit fell, but you can't blame Joak for it. He got in a very good position to... Aconite knew where both of the positions of the last 2 Last Resort players were remaining. Joak got in a position to just deny any sort of impact, deny that gunfire coming through to spray onto the diffuser, but that ended up dropping the Viper's Pit in play. But luckily from that op shot from the start of the round, Kera was so weak, and that ended up assisting Bubs in closing out that clutch.
Do or die straights. Win this and take overtime, lose, and go down to the lower bracket.
Joak's not slowing down on B, looking for info over there.
Need comfort. Scan Miso. Tiny bit of his hair being spotted, but that's all it's going to be. Contact with the operator from Misu. He's going to at least reveal his presence. Going to be updrafting up through the top of rafters. Yeah, and more dominant position, but Kera will take him down with an all-shaking thunder. It's now up to the rest of Aconite to bring this back, but Chicken Feet will be there. Miso with a flank exchange, hiding behind Jen to catch them out. Pressure getting to the nerves of everyone in the lobby, but it's still a winnable scenario for both sides. Last Resort have an advantage. Kera with this op is a huge threat, but can't land it when it matters.
The positions of Last Resort aren't too far back. Aconite potentially have a way to get back into this, but it's already a 2v3.
How does this work? Ball back up once again. Bubs, perfect timing. We'll get one,
Bubs!
two, and Bubs on his own. He's a one-man army, man. He's the leader for a damn reason.
The one-man army, but all of the boys are behind him,
Yeah,
following into
damn
overtime. The last attempt to get into a map 3. That's ridiculous from him.
You need bravery in those situations. You need confidence. You need to be bold when those things happen. And Bubs knows that all too well. He had no choice but to break through the mold, run out there, and take them by his bare hands. And that's enough to bring us to OT.
4 rounds in a row for Aconite. If they exited in that round, that would have been heartbreaking for Misu, who's already at 27 kills. He was the first to fall by first to fall on the side of Aconite by just peaking a bit too overzealous, maybe a bit too much confidence in that operator, going into so many different players. But as they switch sides, Aconite are going to try something different. They have a lot of members towards middle. Will this be too much for Last Resort to react to quickly?
No utility focused on that mid control. They were expecting a heavy push onto A, and Aconite have really fooled them here, claiming the entirety of the site for themselves, but now they're going to be pincered, so they have to claim the space, and Chicken Feet will be caught out from the one way. It's up to Adam to hold the fort, and he can't do it. It's Misu to deal the killing blow. A 3-on-4 in favor of Aconite. Plant is down. Aiden needs to back away, put himself in a safer position, and he will get away with his life.
Tiny on the flank.
Tiny needs to do something. Scan is there. Oh, Tiny!
Suddenly it's even.
No way. Not again. Misu with a third. It's up to Kara, a man with fear instilled from Aconite. He's done fabulous throughout this series, but he needs to do magic, and he's only got 6 health left in the tank. And Aconite have discipline of monks in the mountains. Patience is key, and it's enough to bring themselves to match point.
Last Resort had a couple of opportunities to connect headshots that could have made the difference in that round. There was only 2 standing for Aconite at the end, but they just didn't connect. Sometimes it simply comes down to that. A room to catch that spike plant, a room to...
It's the first timeout used here from Last Resort.
Yeah.
First time they've used a timeout this whole series.
And this is a moment that you may need it.
No doubt.
You're not sure how confident they may be on Haven, but their opposing map pick, Aconite's map pick of Icebox, being so down to the wire after such a devastating map on Ascent that feels like forever ago now.
Yeah. What is Tiny alongside the rest of his team deliberating on? These guys are a newer squad. They don't have established people with them to give them a point to a direction to move to. These guys have to talk about confidence. They have to talk about activity. They need to know that they can trust each other, and they know that they can land the shots. They've won 12 rounds for a reason. They can do this.
Exactly that. It could just be as simple as a reset, just reminding them of how they were in control of this game, how for so long they've been in control of this series. Just a reminder of what they can do and what they have done today at Epic, but just getting a bit more out of them to take it over the line. Are they going to equalize? Or are Aconite about to claim their 6th round in succession?
6 rounds in a row. It's been excellent from Aconite. And our Last Resort. They're sharing in their timbers, no doubt, but they need to be confident and find a way through.
Joak's on an island, but he could have so much to deal with in just a moment, but that drone is going to reveal that he'll be able to back away initially. But is he even spotted? He goes for a challenge instead. But there should be time to run away for Joak. There will be. And now information gained for Aconite. He's going to reposition over towards yellow. He's not going extremely passive.
Misu first blood
prevents the lurk from Jake onto A. And now Aconite have the driver's seat when it comes to map control.
They haven't confirmed exactly where Joak is. They've broken the dart. They need to clear this dry. And Joak is there for free. 2 for Joak. And they might have just flipped this back. It's up to Kara again. 1 versus 4. Surely too dire this time. Aconite, they've reinvigorated themselves. They've brought a comeback of huge magnitudes. This matters. With time left, the fake is in. The swing of desperation almost makes this scary, but it's enough for Aconite to bring it through. We're going to map 3.
That we are indeed, and what a way to make it there. Not only overtime, but 4 rounds needed to make it to that point, and then 2 more. Aconite will just take it in a single overtime. And
incredible.
If Haven lives up to anywhere near to that, this would be an insane latter half to this series.
What was I telling you, man? Map 1 seemed scary. I was thinking, this can't be a boring match, surely. Icebox proved us wrong, and damn, are we here for it. Ladies and gentlemen, Haven map 3 to decide the first team to get into guaranteed top 3 and to be in our upper finals. It's getting spicy, and these guys are hungry. We'll see you guys after the break for Haven.
Start running, I know it's coming. I need inspiration. 지난번만 내 밤이라도 저 바라바라 웃지마 쉽게 돌아오지 않던 감정. Says to myself lately, open my heart to see it. Shout, you guarded this playground of your own. Dip your brush in your soul. Color the way you want. Take the 멈추지 않는 말. Wanted to keep connecting your soul. Share the gift of yours. 내 속의 anxiety들도 piece of who you are. It's if you contentment create who you are. your vibe. Make your vibe. Make your vibe. It's too late, I know now. I'm giving in, I can't back down. And you're so hot, your web I'm cut. Just one more night, tell me to stop. Although I know we must come to an end. I tell myself I'm okay, but I know that I shouldn't pretend. I'ma do it anyway, gonna beat up, want your bad love. I'ma let my hair down now, wanna get down to my favorite sound. I'ma let you in real close, I know I shouldn't do this right. I'ma do it anyway, I kinda wanna lock this down. Wanna beat up, want your bad love. Wanna beat up, want your bad love. Wanna beat up, want your bad love. The way I feel, you in my bones. You wrap me up when we're alone. Could I call this bad love when all I want is more? So put me up against the wall like you ain't afraid to love me hard. Although I know we must come to an end. I tell myself I'm okay, but I know that I shouldn't pretend. I'ma let my hair down now. I'ma let my hair down now. Turn the beat up, turn the beat up. I'ma let my hair down now. No, I shouldn't pretend. I'ma do it anyway, turn the beat up, want your bad love. I'ma let my hair down now, wanna get down to my favorite sound. I'ma let you in real close, I know I shouldn't do this right. I'ma do it anyway, I kinda wanna lock this down. Wanna beat up, want your bad love. Wanna beat up, want your bad love. Wanna beat up, want your bad love. I shouldn't pretend. I'ma do it anyway, turn the beat up, want your bad love. I'ma let my hair down now, wanna get down to my favorite sound. I'ma let you in real close, I know I shouldn't do this right. I'ma do it anyway, kinda wanna lock this down. Wanna beat up, want your bad love. Wanna beat up, want your bad love. Wanna beat up, want your bad love. Wanna beat up, want your bad I'ma let my hair down now. I'ma let my hair down now. Turn the beat up, turn the beat up. I'ma let my hair down now. No, I shouldn't pretend. I'ma do it anyway, turn the beat up, want your bad love. I'ma let my hair down now, wanna get down to my favorite sound. I'ma let you in real close, I know I shouldn't do this right. I'ma do it anyway, I kinda wanna lock this down. Wanna beat up, want your bad love. Wanna beat up, want your bad love. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, look what you done. Took a living woman and turned her into stone. I guess I should be thankful. You gone 'cause you
Hello
choose
and
your
welcome back to
mindful.
EPIC45 with
You,
Intel,
I
brought to you
should-
by Asus ROG and Overclockers UK. We are about to get into map 3 of winners semis between Aconite and the Last Resort after an overtime in Icebox to keep Aconite alive and take us to our decider of Haven. And Last Resort are going to be starting on their side of choice, being the defense.
It's going the distance. It's going the distance, bro. Haven going to be a great map to end it on. I mean, first map Ascent was so one-sided for the Last
Really
Resort.
one-sided.
It looked concerning for the form of Aconite, but Icebox, it looked like a similar deal again where TLR were just going to ring it out, but Aconite just reinvigorated themselves. They brought themselves back alight enough to burn a bit of the glaciers in Icebox there, melt the peaks a little bit. But that being said, Haven up next, a good middle ground map, a good decider map to really confirm who are the superior team in this duel between two really, really scary rosters who want to get into that top 3 early. And Aconite, composition-wise, they're going off the grid. This is going to be the much more modern meta map. I'd like to think. Last Resort going for a much more traditional.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say also an easier to execute composition, the one Last Resort are running when you center around that breach, Omen, Sova, to be those agents that are helping you take that space, the ones you play around to have as your focal points, especially on defense, whether you're taking a lobby or whether you're prioritizing different parts on the map of various rounds. Aconite, this Yoru ISO composition is something that they've ran several times on Haven before, something that they're used to, with Bubs moving over to that ISO. And Joak is going to take the helms of Cypher for that information providing on the defensive side. But
lurking too.
It's going to be a clash of styles for sure.
Yeah. Joak has been excellent on those lurks. He's been really, really solid. I think this map isn't going to be an exception. He was a huge thorn in the backs of Last Resort on Icebox with their Viper. And, you know, generally speaking, although maybe not being the superior kill death-wise, lurk value-wise, definitely the superior.
Oh, yeah.
So that information is going to be really helpful for his team. And the rest are locked in now. Rosters are in. Double duelist confirmed. For Aconite, Yoru, and ISO. This is the tried and true Fnatic comp that everyone likes to call the Fnatic comp, and Fnatic are a pretty damn successful team. So let's
That's true.
Let's put that into perspective, you know. So let's see if old tradition will triumph over the modern super comp. Really, I mean, it's been really, really strong in upper tiers. So if you can execute it right, you really can take strong advantage of it. I mean, the TPs to engage on C and A particularly are the two main points of contention for this comp, right? You can TP safely through back plat, through the box, or you can go into hell from A to confirm yourself some safety there. With that utility, with that shield as well to protect the rest of your team coming up, it's really, really powerful amongst many other means defensively as well.
Yeah, moving a bit away from the comms, one thing I'm going to be really interested to see is whether that map loss has impacted the sort of adrenaline or individual performance that Last Resort are going to have. We saw especially Adam as an easy name to highlight in this sort of scenario where he's just been performing both maps exceptionally well. Is he going to be shooting and moving around the map the same way he was previously, as Last Resort are going to instantly take action into mid as it goes 1-for-1 so far? Miso not able to find a second, as Last Resort will find 3 to their name. There's only 2 are left from Aconite, but they have found their way into a site.
That being said, the fights are labored. 2 members from Last Resort now very, very low. One single shot, and they're both dropping dead. If they can find the right times to isolate, Aconite can still definitely take this back. They're opting in to go for a rotation up through spawn, pivoting up to A. With the spike still in their possession, they don't want to take the risk of going up through A. They want to see if they can claim more space for themselves, maybe find ways of catching them off guard. As Last Resort are staying stalwart off this mid-garage area, looking to spread out the space as the tension rises.
Aconite is splitting, not opting to clear this A site together. Hayden wary that there could be players around here, but that won't be the case. However, this walk up from short could have very fortunate timing. Misu is going to have to be a decider, but Hayden and check and feed this
Hayden!
fire is not expected from the side of Hayden, and it will be 4 standing at the end of this opening pistol for Last Resort. A beautiful outcome for them.
Neither expecting it. Neither expecting the single pushes out from 2 members of Last Resort. It's a clean defuse coming in. A pretty tame round for them. Although initially looking a little bit threatening considering how much space they'd really claimed up through the spawn area, it wasn't really going to be enough 1-for-1. They had to try and find the numbers right. We saw 2 members of Last Resort here, both Adam and the Gildray here in Jake, so low, easily killable, but Last Resort just played that right, and it worked out.
Yeah, Last Resort were not going to let Aconite set the pace for this map for their own attacking half, looking to take the first 12 rounds of this map at the very least in their own terms, to play the map they want it to be played.
Will fall.
And now Aconite are going to be very heavy towards this seaside. Smoke up on... Oh, okay,
Quick on the
just a
draw.
bit too early of a peek allows Kara to get an early shot onto Bubs.
Small error there made from Aconite. He's going to lock away that ISO, which honestly would be the biggest threat to this Outlaw here from Kara. But now that he's free to roam, he's a much more substantial threat. He's reloaded 1, so he's still got 1 bullet in the chamber. But this clone is not going to trip him, but he still won't land the shots. Paranoia thrown out will not hit Misu, and so he's got 3 real estate to hold on to. 3 instant kills for Aconite with just Sheriffs. They are the strongest shooters in the West for this round at least. C-Site is theirs, and it's a 2-on-4 in the favor of Aconite.
And Aconite keep their discipline. They back off onto long, and look at this lurk from Joak coming through into CT. He is once again the insurance of this round, but Adam 180s and takes down 2, but there's still 2 more to deal with. On long is scanned, and Miso will land that headshot and convert the eco round for Aconite.
It looked a little scary there for a split second, but Aconite knew what the hell they were doing. And I mean, it's another scenario. I feel like I've seen this too often at this lab particularly, where paranoias for rehits miss by a thread and lead to disastrous results. We saw this with the Last Resort against Jilly, and it's happened again in this situation. Aconite have taken advantage of it again this time. These paranoias just need to be just a little wider outwards for it to work out.
One thing's for sure, Adam is still on the heater.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Kara an attempt, early engagement made, contact seen, but no damage done. And the smoke through mid is having a little bit of an air of mystery. Not really a lot of information aside from Garage. There could be a really heavy presence up through B main, and so they're going to be a little bit extra paranoid to clear out these close angles, especially now that they see no presence up through the front crosshairs of mid.
Last Resort can feel pretty comfortable with where they are right now, with Tiny posted up on a deep line on A, and that turret holding the information on C, but Kara is going to opt to insert himself into Cubby, so they can hear if there are any rotations on that side of the map. Miso potentially looking to make noise over to B, but just waiting in this smoke in case anyone is overzealous and wanted to step in there themselves. We'll throw out a flash towards B that will hold 2 players' attention. Now 3 looking towards middle, but these deep players are still so pivotal in the rotation for Last Resort, but Kara will shut down Miso.
Kara!
2 for Kara, but that dash out is not going to take his life to safety. Miso will remove it in round number 3, and they are now going to charge into C.
More aggressive takes coming in. Jake, unfortunately, although having the best classic, he's not going to be able to make anything of it, as neither will Chicken Feet. Plant is in, secured. Aconite staying heavy on this pressure onto the site. It's just Tiny now with Stinger. Now a Sheriff might be able to make more value out of this, but I think Aconite are very stalwart in their hold. And they've got a good way, a good means of peeking out the bait, and that's easy done. Done and dusted for Aconite.
Yep. And even though it didn't end up being the cause that started falling, that made the round fall apart for Last Resort, it was interesting they were still poking middle when they had information on the deep lines on both C and A. Middle was the only place that Aconite could have been being proactive in that moment from what Last Resort was seeing from their POV. However, they still peeked into it, didn't commit to it extremely heavily though. But Aconite just thoroughly clearing out the deep spots and able to not allow Last Resort to find an eco round. He's going to be dashing down immediately.
This is a very aggressive avenue here from Kara. Tiny on the opposite side of the map will catch out Joax. That luck pressure is gone. Zephyr is out. And so Aconite have really no choice but to continue committing to this engage. They know that there's no presence on B and A, so Last Resort have a chance to go for rotations and clasp this grip onto the site. Adam and Kara are playing in unison. Miso on the chicken feet. The spam is just gorgeously timed, somehow almost suspicious. Despite being down though, more utility thrown out, and it's just so much in favor of the Last Resort. Flashes from Adam, a little labored against his teammates, but against his opponent, it's exactly what you want. Bubs is the last to fall, as Last Resort will even up the numbers 2-2.
Yeah, Bubs has delivered big 3Ks before, but not going to be the case in that round. Last Resort get their economy back in shape and use that to even out the round numbers once again early in this third map. And now we see the dimensional drift coming online for Miso. That's going to be very pivotal, likely, in where they decide to go, but you'd want to get an ultimate to combo in combination with that before you do so, quite close to those ISO and Sova ultimates, so those will likely be the options to enable that. Instantly going in, getting information on Garage, seeing chicken feet, and then opting into C, spotting no players on site, but doesn't go deep enough to see them in C-Link.
Yeah, no full confirmation of anything yet. You know that the Killjoy utility is on C, and so A is the next site of choice here. A notoriously difficult to retake. Last Resort are going to have to try and hold this strong and not allow anyone to push out. Tiny 9K, excellently done. A clean peek onto Miso to get him off and isolate that win. He now has that now has that Hunter's Fury dispossession. There's the Rolling Thunder to enable Kara to really draw so much blood into this lobby. And so, Last Resort might just take the lead now as it's just Hayden alone. Tex one onto kicking feet. Kara misses quite a few of his knives, but he will still survive as Tiny 9K will finish it off. And the Hunter's Fury still in his hands as well. Really nicely done from Last Resort.
Kara finding that first pick for them in short was so crucial into stopping that execute, just denying the only player from Aconite that was on that second route of entry, making it so Last Resort only had one avenue to worry about, and then that Rolling Thunder just securing it. There was nothing that Aconite could do once they got into that position. They opted to sort of do a fast rotate, not necessarily a gamble, but a read that Aconite would commit to hitting that C site once the Yoru ultimate found so much information on there and saw it was clear. Playing the mind games, but Last Resort are wary of those.
Yeah. Seems like it's going to be a bit of a slower push from Aconite up through A. Already some space secured up through sewers, courtesy of Aconite's Omen there. Chilling through the corner. Got Bubs and Miso still holding their space. Testing Tiny with this Vandal, but looking up through mid and C, more and more spread out spaces being done. Joak has managed to slip through.
Whether Tiny spots someone could be massive, and it looks like it's just a full-out engagement. Bubs will land a headshot with the Sheriff.
Nice shot. That's a huge weapon now claimed. This might be now a guaranteed pivot coming in. They just saw Chicken Feet up the top there. Is he going to be using this kill contract? He's holding on to it still, deciding to not use it just yet. And his double tap will be all for naught. Maybe surviving himself just a little tag, but Chicken Feet through the smoke will take down Miso. And that's a massive pick there. Joak with this luck might be able to catch so many. Disciplined on the trigger. Gets one onto Jake. Chooses to choose his battles. Paranoia thrown out, giving Kara a bit of a chance to commit to the fight. He will go out, secures one, and a lot of damage onto Bubs, but not enough to take him down. Chicken Feet onto Joak. Now has to be a good time to use his kill contract, surely, right? Chicken Feet and Badum going to be drinking down. A quick flick, but no time left. Still so low. The CP a little too oblivious of where Miso really is. A thrifty round for Aconite. A little bit of a sloppy retake here from Last Resort.
Yeah, but I mean, some forced errors or at least forced attention from Aconite. That lurk was played beautifully by Joak. Not only the position he got himself in, but also just the fact that after that first kill, he throws the cage, denies vision of whether he's still there or running away, and just stays alive. Sometimes staying alive in that situation is way more impactful than you just going for that second swing, because Last Resort have to stay attentive as to what you are doing. That meant that there couldn't be a third member wreaking havoc on that A site, and that was actually a game changer at the end of that round.
Hunter's Fury thrown out here on the Last Resort, making an attempt at claiming a loads of extra space, and Hayden will punish the other Sova. Hunter's Fury with a bigger Hunter's Fury, and it's going to be Aconites to be the stronger one. Exchange in, Sova is down here for the Last Resort. Alarm bot will trigger, but nothing done. Kara on the opposite side of the map will take down Bubs. This has made things a little slow and a little more tenuous here. Jake tagged, a lot of damage done. Pressure from Joak is excellent. Speed tapping that ultimate button to guarantee the neural theft execution. And so, 2 members here secured, confirmed on A, with a lone Omen on the opposite side. This is prompting an instant rotor here from Aconite.
This mix of positioning is bizarre. And even if Joak gets pincered, that means that Aconite are going to find their way into the C site, but Joak still finds a kill for his own. And now might be able to find the back of Chicken Feet, but Joak, that doesn't matter. Misu will find the kill for himself, but Kara just has to run, and I mean, is likely going to save, but what can you do? That was...
These legs from Joak are sickening.
Yeah. I mean...
How can he get away with this?
Quite literally.
How does he get away with that so many times? He's striking the fear of God into Last Resort.
And it's not even like Last Resort not paying attention to it. It's not like they're not trying to deal with it. Jake was holding that angle, having that engagement with Joak, but Joak sort of took him to very low damage. If the shots were cleaner, could have actually taken him out right then and there, but Joak just taking the timing, re-aggressing, going even deeper into A-Link when his team isn't even committing to that side of the map. He's almost controlling the map single-handedly, and then Bubs' calling will just be able to maneuver around that, and it will give them so many more options.
Yeah, no doubt. A great combination, match made in heaven. Strong lurker with strong information, a good IGL to lead that information, use it to the best of its use, the best of its availability.
And the Econ's not what you want if you're Last Resort.
Yeah, I mean, money is looking rough to start. But you also have some scary ultimate economy issues to also think about, right? You've got that kill contract used for that next round. That's going to be really good to give yourself a head start. Last Resort, they're desperate. Only 1 or 2 with rifles in hand, the rest going into slower buys.
It's you and me.
And they're going to be using the kill contract, in fact, but it's going to be, unfortunately, to no joy. No contact made, and so that double tap, all for naught. No shield available now for Bubs on this ISO. 5 on 5, no blood spilled, and the plant is down. First blood will go to Jake, and the fight will ensue. More contact soon to be made, and Kara unfortunately caught off guard. Adam and Tiny 9K will respond in kind with 2, but it's still the numbers in the hands of Aconite. Still the numbers in their control.
It looks like we're not going to see some of the same shenanigans that we've seen from Last Resort in previous rounds, pulling off just ridiculous scenarios. Tiny still alive, still in a 1v3, but that camera is going to make things much more difficult. Time dwindling, and Tiny is just going to opt to run away and save that gun. Not a bad thing to come out of this round, since it was majority of Last Resort saving anyway to buy into the next. Aconite now 5-3. And yeah, it was it was interesting that Last Resort went for a fast flood on that C retake. It's kind of your only option though on an eco. You're not necessarily going to go really patient into that, since once you have a weapon disadvantage, there's not much you have to work with. Potentially the utility, but Aconite will still be able to duel you and find a way out of situations like that. So it was sort of the only option once they had walked down through middle, and then Aconite went into that C site, but not going in their favor, but now is their chance.
An aggression once again here from Aconite. Going quick into the split through Susan Long. Drone is going to be out to snuff out anybody who's close up, trying to go into any ratty angles, and that's going to be safely cut out here for Aconite. We also got this from the shadows, which is important to note. Is this going to be used at any point? Maybe down the line. Tiny 9K, good angle. But Kara is the victim of the assault here. It's 99K to be the next to try and fight, but will drop. And it's going to be Adam alone under hell and cannot do anything in this 6-foot grave. Chicken feet with an attempt to exchange back, but not really much here you can do. Joak with a cheeky angle up with this shorty. Jake is so paranoid about it. Quick to break the cam. And that's all she wrote. Chicken feet quick on that draw. A good moment to punish through, and that's going to make the numbers even here.
Paranoia thrown out to stall this retake, and a 2v2 and the smoke thrown out. These could be isolated fights.
Hey, pushing out through Undone. He's so quick to fight back. It's Chicken Feet, a 1v1 with both the Omens. So much damage done to Chicken Feet, and it's Miso to finish it off. 6-3 in favor of Aconite. A clean end to the round, but a valiant attempt here from Last Resort.
Yeah, Last Resort were really convinced by that early A presence from Aconite. They rotated so quickly onto A. They had 3 members to deal with that hit, but as there wasn't this decision from the start of the round, those Last Resort players were still moving into those positions to try and catch Aconite off guard, and whilst they were in the middle of that adjustment, they got caught off trying to cross those angles, and that opened the floodgates for Aconite to enter into that A site.
Good ultimates in the hands of the Last Resort, though. They're trying to find a way to flip this momentum back in their hands. This is the time. You do have this dimensional drift from Miso. They're going to be using it into this next round. You have a pretty hefty stack to come in, and it will be popped. Made to engage here. You have a little bit of scouting information, no confirmed engage, but this is very valuable here. Off screen though, Chicken Feet will take down Joak. And that's massive here. But he's managed to snuff out so many members. Kara, so quick with the Sheriff, will instantly one-tap Miso. And Jake will join in too. Despite Kara being the one to go down, he is still the man to bring the numbers in favor of Last Resort. A 4-on-2, lockdown in their possession as well. You have this Marshal from Adam, which, although it isn't the most valuable, could deal some good enough damage to make these Sheriffs much more threatening if this happens. Bubs needs to take a step forward, but he can't do it. And Jake, back-to-back, will win the Sheriff fights and will be the sharpest player in the West for this round. It's an excellent eco for Last Resort. Arguably, maybe a bit fortunate. You have to see that kill from Kara to really be the catalyst.
Yeah, the individuals really showing they're still online for the end of this series in that round specifically. And that's actually a crucial round for especially the economy of this half. That is a decider in the fact that Aconite are not guaranteed to run away with this half. If they converted that eco round 7-4 or 7-3, and then potentially 8 right after that if another gun round is lost, terrible eco again, those Sheriff shots mean so much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, no doubt. Great for this momentum for Last Resort. They really needed this. Had this snowballed into a 7-3, this could be a really dire situation here. And Aconite being the harbingers of it. But not this time. Last Resort still clawing in, keeping this a 2-round difference. This timeout from Aconite is going to be used to try and stop, not only stop this good, especially momentum that Last Resort built from that round, but also give themselves maybe a bit of a deviance in strategy. And they've suffered for the last couple of rounds now, and they need things to change, and this is the round to do it.
Yeah, and looking at the scoreboard and upcoming ultimate economy or potential upcoming ultimates, that timeout could potentially be discussing some of those things. Which ones they want to prioritize, which ones they're going to get soon, how they're going to play around those.
Yeah. A little bit of warning shots fired here. Aside from that, it's pretty quiet down in Haven. Still waiting. Something to happen. It seems like Last Resort are very tightly knit around this B to garage area.
Jorak still pushing so many boundaries towards middle. Is he going to get caught out there?
This is just so brave, so audacious here, but Kara will very quickly dispose of him. And that's now made that lurk pressure all but naught. Surely now the confirmation has been made here for Last Resort. Surely they now know that A is the place that they're going to be pushing. Shield pop from Bubs. Out comes the initiation. Now's the time Teams like Last Resort are going to be waiting to play for the retake, and rightfully so. They have a lot of really strong utility for this. The lockdown from the shadows, if they wanted to go for a flank ultimate or a Blade Storm for a rapid vertical engage, many options that they can do with this. Paranoia, perfectly timed! Kara with 2! Bubs and Miso are both down, and it's a 1-on-3. Hayden is just forced to run for the hills. The guy has nothing left. He can't do a thing about this, and he's just going to allow it to happen. He's going to face the music and let him defuse.
Absolutely no chance in that round.
You
And
don't
that's
deserve my
such a recovery for Last Resort in what could end in an even half for them. It was looking pretty dire, and this is also their side of choice on this map, no less. Although attack and defense are considered pretty even on a map like this.
Placing alarm bot.
Don't want to let it run away too far.
Yeah.
Recalling my bot.
This is once again looking to be a similar closeness to Icebox if this continues. Waiting for someone to make a breakaway. Last round of this half. Why can I make the 7-5 once again? Like we saw in Icebox, will history repeat itself, or are things going to change with this fight here in Last Resort? You have a good benefactor financially. It operates in the hands of Kara with that Blade Storm as well, allowing for a lot of aggression.
That sound cue actually could have been some big information. Kara heard this tripwire place, meaning the Cypher isn't lurking down mid. This drone, Last Resort can believe is real, that there's heavy presence toward mid here. That's why the Fault Line and Hunter's Fury come through, although it only finds one tag. Joak still holding this A push as that Kara is holding, but the operator Chicken Feet is so close to 3 members of Aconite, but will Aconite even be able to get out of Garage with the spike?
With so much pressure, look how much they have to rotate.
They have to rotate, but Chicken Feet still holding this line, and Aconite are just so patient. They're letting Last Resort get in their own heads.
This is excellent here from Aconite. Bubs onto Chicken Feet will get the pick, and look, he's cancelled from the shadows. Last Resort are a sitting duck. An excellent play from Aconite. Oh, thanks to once again the unwavering discipline of Joak. He will finally fall to Adam, through Adam practically being forced to just get him out, swat him from the map. But it's still effectively a done deal for Aconite. Tiny 9k, and the Breach need to do something about this. So, it's not cleared here from the back of box. So Tiny 9k is almost just free pickings here for the taking. It's up to Adam alone. There's only so much he can do. Can't even take the 1v1 against Miso, and that is the half. Aconite will take the 7-5. What a great round to end this on.
Yeah, Joak, again, just playing his position so well, but also the decision from Aconite to sit completely still in Garage. So many players, so many teams would move up extremely fast, back out of Garage. We have a site, we have a lurk that's got a pick, we should have a head over there. But they just waited to see what Last Resort were going to do. They waited to let them rotate, to let them respond to things that weren't even happening. And Aconite just knew that that patience could bring so much value to the table.
No doubt about it. It's been excellent here from Aconite. I mean, that's a great tactical example of what his team can do. Last Resort, they have to win this pistol to make things even. Exact same scoreline as Icebox. You guys are seeing a little bit of deja vu with the scoreline here. There's a chance for them to still make this close. This pistol round is essential. Seems like B is going to be the site of choice here for Last Resort. Seems like that's all it's going to be so far. A plant and 5 players still on the B site, looking to claim a little bit more space. Joak, it seems to be their target right now. As the lone Cypher on C, the lone warrior cannot do a thing against Kara. Rapidly, like lightning, taking him out of the game. And the rest of Aconite are trying to pin down, trying to establish their 1v1s, but they can't land the shots. A flawless pistol win for Last Resort.
That worked out so well for Last Resort. And the fact that they took C-Link as their extremity, there was only Joak to respond on that side, and Kara just absolutely annihilated him in that 1v1. Just, I mean, it looked like a pre-fire, but just instantly jiggling back and landing that headshot with the Ghost.
Beautiful.
And Last Resort seemingly investing pretty heavily going into this anti-eco, but not surprisingly.
Anti-eco now. Last resort. Wants to try and make this a little extra even. Make this 7-7. That dart. Excellently placed there. And that's just going to give away that information pretty handedly. And now, with no presence being made on A, they're going to be quickly rotating through.
After seeing that ISO, you can kind of believe that there's going to be 3 players towards A, 2 on long, and 1 aggressing on short, which is why they instantly rotate away. Joak still staying about in garage after that drone, repositioning, and it's risky, but it's going to give Aconite that information. Misu, discovered, and that cues him to walk back. That could have been the savior of him in this round, as he avoids that gunfight with Tiny so far, but he's still stuck in this corner. Stuck in the corner, no teleports available. Kara's head will be spotted, and a headshot connected, but it's not enough damage. Kara will return the favor with stronger weaponry.
5 HP to his name, and the guy's still clean enough to quickly react and respond in kind. Aconite, 2 members down. A desperate attempt from Miso to try and evade the damage done from the stun, but it's not going to mean a thing. 5 on 2, seeming to be what could be another flawless round here for Last Resort. Back-to-back flawlesses.
As the last standing members of Aconite are going to go in for the retake, but so little players and so little firepower to work with. Just going to get shut down, and now moving into this bonus where Aconite going to look to get their first round on the board, where they'd be expected to get their first round on the board. Tiny already 3 away from the Hunter's Fury on the side of Last Resort, looking to potentially use that for a site execute early in this half, or perhaps just utilize it for the post plant, as most would commonly see. Chicken Feet is just going to opt to play on an off angle, preventing this C walk down. He's going to hear that camera come out though, and then we'll just opt to destroy it, deny the information that Joak could get from that, as Aconite are walking up in.
Kara making first contact with Miso, but damage done just yet. Only a tiny tag from Kara to Kara. Some warning shots fired, but Cigar, Last Resort playing the slow again. I mean, you can see the pusher from Misu attempting to catch out Tiny with Jake. He's got that TP ready. Maybe opting in to commit to a fight. He hears 9k steps and he's caught off guard. Tiny is out. Misu with a great pick. Now loads of space claimed.
But since that alarm bot isn't destroyed, they may opt to re-clear. Misu will teleport right back out from that spot. Goes to a less dangerous angle. Ooh. Kara pulls out the ghost to, I assume, destroy that camera. Yeah, there we go.
I thought he was going to cosplay. He's going to cosplay Sonic's Solid Snake, put on the bandana and hide.
Yeah.
Not the case.
With 30 seconds left, it looks like Last Resort are going to see split.
Kara, bold, audacious, waiting to push. The trip on the other side is there, but Joak's angle is beautiful to at least guarantee an opening pick, but that's all he's going to get. He already knew he was going to be gone from the start. He had to become a martyr to help himself survive. Hayden with the shock dart, and Miso onto Kara. It's back and forth, only 8 seconds left. Adam alone in a 1 versus 4. Nothing he can do against Bubs. Aconite, flip the script, take the lead.
That's the fashion in which you want to take a bonus if you really want to start getting a streak of rounds. As you're closing into series point for both sides here. Aconite now move ahead once again, 8-7. As both ultimates, or I'm going to see Tiny once again, still close to that ultimate now, just 2 away.
Up to Misu and Kara, top 2 top performers right now from both respective teams. Proving that they are the top duelists. Very, very close map still.
Yeah, and Aconite still opting to put a lot of presence towards A at the start of the rounds, but they're typically just posting up Misu and then allowing Hayden and Bubs to rotate away from A once Misu gets posted on that exact line on short right there. Bubs opting to stay in this round, but Hayden will be an additional player to help with a B hit if that happens, and he's going to drone through mid. That pressures Last Resort to pivot and break that shock dart into garage, but they're not committing into there just yet.
Yeah, a quick rotation from Aconite as well. You can see Bubs joining his teammates here from the C area, anticipating a push, but the read is a little alternative there. Tiny 9K again. This is the second round in a row now that he's fallen to Misu on this battle to contend this whole A spot. And even then, it's not going to really be much for anything. He's going to be effectively just left a C is the option here. Miso with 2 onto Kara and Adam. He's just going to make this even harder here for Last Resort. There's only so much that they can do. Choak with the last 2 killing blows. They've built a lead here. They've made a 2-round breakaway.
Yeah, like you said, an assumption of that C hit coming through, and eventually that was the case.
Well read in the end. I thought initially it was a bit of a false read, but hey, it paid off in dividends.
Yeah, sometimes those options just get narrowed and narrowed down, and then Aconite will force you into a place that you don't want to be. That kill contract now online for Bubs, the first ultimate that we're going to see in play of this half. Something that if a fast hit comes through, or if a spike plant comes through, is likely going to be used in response.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, and a high, low, and B, whilst Last Resort are going seemingly opting to take very fast action towards A. They've at least shown presence toward this side.
Yeah, with the superior weaponry in there as well, this kill contract will not provide a lot of risk here. Choak is going to be alone. He's going to be able to spam through and get those trips in. Unfortunately, no blood spill. A lot of damage done. Jake tags through the scan as well. The site is confirmed here, but as that plant comes through, no kill contract initiated here from Aconite.
Aconite are already there. They're flooding in.
Paranoia thrown out. They're rushing this through. They are overwhelming with numbers alone, but Miso walks out. And out comes that kill contract. It was used. Tiny 9K is down here. Misu is continuing to run it down. 1, 2, 3. Almost pinging like he's playing Grid Snap on Aim Labs. That was rapid.
That was just immediate destruction of Last Resort on that site.
Good try.
I was hearing some guy's ASMR from that one.
Yeah, I was so ready to talk about the fact that Miso was the first person in on that flood and he got killed alone. And that was because the aftershock came out from hell, from Adam, that was able to separate Miso from his teammates. That looked like that's what was going to be the first piece to fall astray for Aconite to stop them from that retake being successful. But Misu just connecting every single shot.
Guy's an aimer. I didn't want an aim last montage at that point. Like,
no bullets curving there.
Yeah.
A lot of players from the server over towards A though.
Yeah, it's a rapid push from A for Last Resort. Plays some in the hands of Kara. We've seen him be lethal with this ability before. He's hungry.
Choak is at the bottom of C-Long. Okay.
Yeah, he's managed to creep out, but that alarm was putting a lot of pressure.
Close.
He's essentially not really able to push any further if he wants to give himself away, but that could be a blessing in disguise if they choose to pivot through C main. I think, that being said, now that you see the cam there, surely now it's kind of guaranteed that you don't really want to go that way.
Oh, this flash being held out.
Oh, it's a 4-man engage. Misu, how were you so quick on the draw? Was that a collateral headshot? Can't be, surely. That was rapid. Again, proving to be the biggest man in the lobby right now. And maybe just getting even harsher here. Last Resort, they are struggling here. They are frantic in their response. They're planting now, and B is the last option.
Yep, Last Resort forced to move away from A. And now that alarm bot is gone, Choak is able to activate the lurk through middle on the flank as Misu is going to get as much information as humanly possible. Uses that flash but gets caught out by a bizarre position from Chicken Feet. And the Hunter's Fury.
Oh no, Bubs! You can't miss those! It's backfired horribly. Last Resort. Wipe Aconite off the map. It all started from Misu, falling apart in the blink of an eye. The moment he throws off his ultimate, he's gone. Then after that, it was Bubs missing the free kill onto Tiny 9K, and then it just snowballs out of control.
Yeah, I mean, it is a pretty random place to see a Sova in, right in the sky, but as you said, Misu coming out of that Yoru ultimate, all of the Last Resort players were so far away from A-Link, but that by the end of the duration, Misu thought that was all of the players he would have found in that vicinity, but his back turned as both teams contesting A once again. Miso stunned though, does not like the look of that and decides to immediately get out of there.
Yeah, once again, it seemed like a really stacked skirmish that we were about to see there for a second, but Aconite are disciplined. They're backing away quickly here. Misu on this operator through C. 99k again on this luck. Back to back, these guys are always going into these 1v1s. 99k might just be fighting a losing battle. I think that shot was fired. And that confirmed his suspicions. Kara scanned, also backing off.
It looks like there's an operator posted for Misu over towards that C site. Tiny is going to throw a recon over to that. Oh, it misses though. That could actually make things much easier for Misu to handle. He's going to back away early. He has warning signs and hits the sniper shot through the cloudburst. Misu still holding on to this position on C site. Joak finding two elsewhere. Chicken Feet trying to find a response, but Misu is still on an island for now.
He is still a threat. He still has a flash available on 1 kill, and he can use that gate crash to get himself back to safety. This team are coming to back him up, and the spike is down. Chicken Feet is fried. 11 rounds for Aconite, and it looks like it might just start snowballing. Last Resort are starting to pinch at straws. Their economy close to being in tatters, but desperate to force regardless.
Last Resort, I think, is not a name you want to live up to in a situation like this.
Oh no.
But sometimes comebacks have to be the place. We just saw Aconite do what would have to be done. If Last Resort were to drop this round, it would have to be 4 in a row to push to overtime, but we're not there just yet.
There's still one more round here. I can flip the script and keep this momentum not too far.
Oh my, Misu down mid.
Favor. How was Misu already up there? He's gone! He's out! Maybe a bit of a misplay there from Misu. Good attempt, great space claimed, but he couldn't really make the most of it in this lockdown. It's going to claim all of B for themselves. And now the retake ensuing. Aconite previously suffering on the B retake, not able to really win this out.
Last Resort having control of Garage is massive.
Yeah, this is huge. They might be able to pinch them through. This Cyphercade is going to cause a lot of pressure down. Jorak with a trade. Jorak with a second onto Kara. Bubs is there to back him up too. And pressure is on. Time ticking down, but no significant member here of Last Resort able to fully have confirmed eyes on the spike here. Jake with 1, but his exchange is a 1-on-2 in favor of Last Resort. And Tiny 9K will stop Hayden from going that isolated swing. It's not over just yet.
Yeah, Last Resort in that post plant, taking the initial control with the drone through Garage, allowing them to just completely deny one of the avenues of the retake for Aconite through C-Link, and then Tiny once again wrapping through that same place later on to secure the round for them.
Yeah. And
keeping the game within 2.
Yeah, and you could see as well that garage control from Last Resort was a big catalyst to giving them widespread control of the entire site. You had one down the bottom of Long, you had the other one down the corner of C-Link, and another one providing pressure on the site. It was excellent from Last Resort.
Aconite completely changed their setup. They're playing retake, or at least flood on A with that Cypher, yet they're just going to completely get off with the Rolling Thunder. That's likely one of the reasons they would have gone for the setup. Joak has to take a fight against Kara and now has more to deal with.
You need numbers in this situation, and Joak is bringing the buff, bringing the battle to them. Solo Cypher bringing what was unexpected to Last Resort. And he's managed to gracefully bring his team into a numbers advantage. Tiny 9K rushing up with an attempt, but it's not going to work. Aconite are still here. 4 versus 2. Paranoia thrown out, multiple blinded. Maybe a chance here for another push from Jake. He'll get 1, gets 2 from Heaven, and that's a massive transfer from Jake.
He's sticking.
He's sticking. Miso. What's happened?
The Omen
Hello?
ultimate in Long. He's faked it, but Miso was already at half. He just sticks the defuse through and gets Aconite onto series point to secure top 3 at Epic.
I'm blown away. What was happening in that round? Was that a blunder, a misread? What was going on there?
Chicken Feet used the ultimate, the Omen ultimate, to fake that they could have been ulting behind them, they could have been ulting Heaven, they could have been ulting to any position, but they did it Long to that was the place where Miso would have not been able to hear it. Miso would have not been able to know that position, but yeah, it was half, and Miso just wasn't convinced. He knew he had the time. I believe there was still a smoke on the spike. He just felt safe enough to go for the stick.
Oh my goodness. That is shocking.
Joak again walking down C main.
He's got
Could
the
find an
kill
early fight onto
Finally!
Tiny, but Tiny will shut down the impact that Joak has found in so many rounds in these 3 maps.
Finally, Tiny gets an edge up over Joak here, and this might change things. Maybe 12 rounds, but oh, my goodness, Kara, he's blind in a smoke, still no fear to spray. And it's a 2-on-4. But Aconite do have this kill contract. Do they choose to use it now? Surely not, right? You want this extra layer of security, and you still have a few rounds for Last Resort that need to be won.
One pick is found first for Aconite, then they would have invested that kill contract, but that's not the case. Last Resort will keep it clean and keep 4 standing. 2 more rounds for them to stay alive in back-to-back overtimes.
Look at these ultimates here. 3 ultimates from Aconite, including 1 more orb from Misu to have the ultimate in. That could combo massively well with these other ultimates, like the kill contract, for example. Guarantee yourself a land. The Last Resort, a little more barren.
It's very unlikely they come out in this round, though. Look at Bubs, a classic. Absolutely no money on this side of Aconite. It's going to have to be in round 24 unless they can pull out crazy heroics with pistols.
They're choosing to play this extra safe. They're not going to be taking a risk by not letting Last Resort get to 11. They're going to just allow it. At least try to save the money for the next round. He's been scanned and no movement abilities, and now he's going to be backing away. C is going to be the choice.
Joak instantly knows that. Goes to find information and sees them charging into the site. He's going to decide to try and hold his ground, but Kara will instantly headshot him.
Small gap in this smoke for CT. Kara might be able to actually take advantage of it, but not this time. Like you said, though, weaponry very much inferior. Although they're in a comfortable advantage situation, there's not really much that they can do in this particular round.
Oh, alarm bot just placed of the flank. Last Resort will cautious of it, and Misu just decides to destroy that piece of info and opt back to the rest of his team. They may even opt to go down to the spike here.
Might just be that case. You can see Miso just kind of idly waiting for some over-aggression from Last Resort, but it's not going to be the case. All 5 members here will still stand in the next round, unless you can see Misu trying to change them about, and they HUD the steps. So they're very much proof of his location, and so he's instantly snuffed out, and that's going to be Aconite conceding to the spike.
I believe Misu was one off of that ultimate, so no matter what happened in that gunfight, he just wants to die to an opponent, so he gets that ultimate online. So Aconite have 4 at their disposal and a timeout coming out from them. They want to make sure they use these to their utmost effectiveness.
They are doing this to find a way to finish them off. They are doing this to find something intricate. They have very strong ultimates on their possession right now. This is the time to strike in the way Last Resort least expect it. With Bubs leading the charge and King has on their side in the back lines, helping them control the lead strategically. This is a big, big timeout. And Last Resort have to sit and wait and deliberate. What do you do when you don't know what your opponent's going to do at this stage of the match with this much of an advantage?
I'd imagine in Aconite's headspace, you'd likely opt to just play for retake with these sorts of resources. You'd invest very heavily to one side of the map, make it so if Last Resort decided to try and take that space or try and execute that side, they would just be completely denied from the sheer amount of bodies that Aconite have over to that side of the map, and then the kill contract, your ultimate, everything available to them would make a retake very possible.
Here we go. The round before overtime. It's been a storm of a series, and Aconite want to end it now.
That goes there.
They can't allow the pressure. They're the ones now with the upper hand, and they do not want to repeat what Last Resort had to do. Time is now. The pressure is on. Both teams can feel it.
3 players over towards that B site for Aconite. They're able to rotate to either side of the map if they so choose, but they are going to walk down together silently, activating on this map, looking to find anyone.
Look, there's 2-man creep up
not
through
ready.
Red. If they're not ready, Tiny! eagerly awaiting. The stun only grabs Misu, but he's going to be able to teleport to safety. The Last Resort will grab 2, and those are both huge ultimates taken away from Aconite. And now the ultimates are triggered. Misu walks out, manages to get 1, and Joak with a response of 2 with the Guardian. The spike is down, and it's all up to Hayden.
It's still a 1v2, but
He's got full util.
beautiful crossfire from the 2 members of Aconite who were left standing on that B site. Hayden is going to be detected by that turret unless he walks up to the right side and potentially catches someone out.
He might be able to get an early swing here quickly. If he suspects someone to be up top, he could do this. But he's snuffed up by the turret, and the double swing. Instant response from Last Resort. We are still in this. We're going to OT.
Once again, 2 maps in a row in overtime. These are the sort of series you want to see, and such a stark difference from what we saw in map 1. Last Resort looking to do exactly what Aconite did to them in the previous.
This is what this series is really about. This is why we hyped up this matchup. This is why we're so damn excited to see these teams play. At first, we were scared. Second, we were invigorated. And now we are more pumped than ever to find out who makes it to the upper bracket final. Both of these teams know they deserve it. They know they earn it. But there's only one that can make it out.
Slightly more unconventional setup, actually. Jake is going to go back over towards B, but with that turret on A. Aconite, though, are not being shy of where they are on the map. Going to show instant presence over towards middle, but looking to try and displace any killjoy utility they can. There we go. The alarm bot's gone, but they won't find that turret as that's still on the A site. Joak has popped the cage, so he's found himself inserted not too deep into A, but past the line that Tiny will be checking.
This slightly similar instance of the previous round where they did that freeze up through Garage.
Oh.
But this time it's shifting around. This time they're going to be pivoting around to the seed long, but you still have Jack waiting to make contact with Tiny. It's another of the same 2 going against each other.
Aconite have double inserts. If Last Resort have any reaction to places where Aconite make noise, they are going to hear practically every single important rotate that will happen across the map. So when this dart comes through, if Joak hears movement, he will know that turret is there on the A site. They're just going to run away. And Misu now activates through. That fight could be massive if he takes that engagement. He's spotted. The paranoia comes through. They know the Omen is towards there. That's a massive piece of utility gone. Now that Tiny spotted, they're going to speed up and go into A. Joak is so unexpected to Tiny and isn't able to find the second. It's a 4v4.
Still Jake, though, forced to stay back at the site. He can't allow them to grab it on, but he can only get 1. Chicken Feet maybe debating to jump down. But Kara has a glass operator.
Misu's the luck now.
It's scary dealings here. And Misu, with him not being accounted for onto the site, they are paranoid of this. And this is exactly what Aconite need. They have no choice but to go together and swing Misu, and it works. Adam will take him down, and this operator is still in the hands of Kara, but he will pick up the Vandal instead. A 2-on-3. Aconite desperate to make this work. 1 in hell. Can Bubs win it? No, not against Kara, and Hayden can't win against Adam. It's 13 for Last Resort. Match point.
And they want to reclaim what was looking to be theirs confidently. A spot in the upper finals. Last Resort now 1 round away once again. That previous round looking like it was in such a good spot for Aconite with Misu on that lurk. It looked like he was going to be the insurance. Last Resort had Kera and Adam both checking defender's spawn. Both of them so paranoid, like you said, but Misu eventually taking that fight and going down. Potentially, maybe that's a situation where you play selfish, where you bait your teammates, where you just are the last person to go. So they have to be worried. You can't think about that anymore. It's just the next rounds at hand.
They cannot let this happen. They can't let what they just did to Last Resort happen to them now. Crushing. They can't allow this. Aconite do not want to repeat history, especially with how far they've come.
Aconite are not letting that round crush their confidence, though. They're still playing proactive. Giant was still peeking out towards Garage. He's now backed over to C. Misu is ready to take a fight over on A. They know he's here from that clone being put out, but they may not suspect Bubs if Misu decides to depart the angle. They use a fault line for pressure to maybe help reclear, but Jake is going to stay extremely cautious, not taking fights. He doesn't exactly need to.
Misu. This is a scary angle, maybe a series-defining one. Kara with one! A second for Kara. The timing will backfire for Aconite as Last Resort are gunning it to the A site.
Those peaks were cued by the fact that Tiny was droning Garage. They thought that Last Resort had pivoted, but that is not the case. And now they're storming into the A site with a claim for a spot in the top 3.
Oh no, Joak checking feet, still backing up. It's all up to Miso, who's facing far too much. Aconite will fall at the finish line, and the Last Resort bring themselves back and will survive.
They are going to face Jilly in the upper bracket final, and that is going to be another match to be extremely excited about. What a final 2 maps in that series. All teams putting it out.
Absolutely gorgeous. This is the beauty of Epic Land, man. Yeah. This is what we want to see from these teams. Last Resort, they battled really heavy, but Last Resort get the victory that they needed to guarantee themselves top 3. Aconite maybe down on spirits this evening, but not out, and definitely not one you looked over. All these other teams, they've seen what Aconite have done, and they are scared.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That is not a lineup you want to see in your lower bracket path, that's for sure, as long as they're able to keep their mental up after such a close series like that. And you can imagine if it went the other way, if Last Resort weren't able to take it across that final hurdle. Oh my goodness, that opening map being 13-3. Imagine the devastation of losing a series after that opening.
Yeah, Aconite must be honestly a little crushed in the moment, but I know that they're going to be looking back on this and being at least proud at how well of a fight they put up and how they can see themselves as capable of making it back and getting revenge. Be it against Jilly or the Last Resort later on, or maybe even against a team like obviously Moment Sensational who are going to be up next. This is a exciting bracket to see. Aconite have a few more opponents left up before they have a chance to face one of the losers of this upper bracket final. But regardless of that, it's been an incredible series, it's been an incredible match, and without a doubt, we're going to be seeing Aconite in that losers bracket tear it up.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this incredible match of Epic Land. And would you believe it if I told you we got one more series, which could just be even better depending on how the Last Resort are really feeling this time. It's going to be the upper final between the Last Resort and Jilly. I'm Shiba, joined by Nebula. We'll be back with you guys very, very soon for the last series of the day.